on YouTube.
No more for this for real.
This is for reals.
Not for play.
Ah,
play,
you said
play.
first.
This ain't for no play. All right. Ooh. Oh, wow. Good thing I checked that. That could have been horrible. Nothing to worry about. Everything going perfectly fine.
All right. So we're having an E3 conference situation where it's just like, oh, the audio's out.
Yeah, no big deal. We don't have audio. All right. Here we fucking go. All right, before we do anything, I need confirmation this shit's actually going to Twitch.
Yeah, it went to Twitch.
You can see it?
I saw the Street Fighter things going on,
That's a good start then, obviously. I mean,
but I don't see anything else.
Oh, you're live.
Are you positive? This is happening right now.
Yeah, I can see you in the
Oh, there we
dashboard.
go.
Yeah,
There we
but-
go.
Can you see me talking right now?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is happening live.
It's having real time. We're getting the behind the closed doors sneak peek footage of how fucked up us running this podcast is sometimes.
Yes. Extra something. All
Alright, let's do this.
Alright.
Save that enthusiasm and record some audio. Hello, it's June 9th, 2014. You're listening to the 1985 FM podcast, episode 85. I'm your host, Randy the Judici. I'm joined by Lawrence Lawson,
Hello!
Brendan O'Connell,
Hey,
Jeremy Conrad,
Hello.
Nathan Mayer,
How's it going?
and you guys. How's everyone doing?
E3.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Big
enthusiasm.
deal. It's our birthday.
It is our birthday.
Woo!
It's the 85th episode that almost never happened.
We're saving it for a special occasion.
All right, guys. First day of E3.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
A lot of press
Everything
conferences.
happened.
A lot of
A lot of games.
Shit
E3
ton to
is
cover.
pretty much done. There's pretty
Yeah.
much nothing else to
Whoa,
do.
wait
Nintendo
a
says they're going to
minute.
have a show, but no one's really sticking around for it. Everyone's pretty much packing up their bags. They're taking their plane tickets, changing the dates. They're leaving tonight. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, Mario Kart's fun. Have we mentioned that?
Yes.
Okay. Nah,
We
I got
haven't
nothing else.
Let's go into the first press conference, guys.
Alright.
Microsoft starts it off today at 9:30.
Randy and I were there.
Yes, we were there.
Good seats.
Pretty good seats. We learned that Phil Spencer is very short.
Oh yes, he is.
Incredibly
I mean-
small person.
I was standing in line. I got upstairs. They have upstairs is like the preferred, like early bird seats, and you actually get seats down on the lower level. And I'm standing in line, and Major Nelson walks by, looks at the line, and then I see this entourage of people coming by, and there's this little short guy, and he's like, "Oh, preferred seating. You guys are the important people." And I realized, oh wait, that's Phil Spencer. And it's like, it was just this little short dude. And then right
Like
behind
circus
him,
short.
yeah,
Let's
right
just get
behind
that
him
straight.
was
Like
Phil
circus
Harrison.
short.
Right behind him was
Well-
Phil Harrison, and like Phil Harrison could like just pick him up and put him on his shoulder and like just.
That may not have been the
No.
real Phil Spencer, though. That might have
Oh,
been
no,
just...
it was. It was definitely him. He looked just like Phil Spencer. Just he is like he's missing half his legs.
Yeah,
Walking on top of a ball
I mean, he looked
would have
really
looked
constipated.
correct.
I mean, he looked
That's what we're
really
saying.
constipated. I mean, it was Phil Spencer.
No, it was definitely Phil Spencer. That wasn't why we were there to mock Phil Spencer, though. We were actually there to see games, and I think I am confident in saying we saw a lot of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
good ones. It was like a barrage of game after game after game. It was almost nonstop. The only time it stopped really was when Harmonix came out. But they kicked it off with Call of Duty, and I mean, Hip Hop Gamer sitting in front of us, he really enjoyed it. And Hip Hop
Gamer was having such a good time. There was that point after the Call of Duty thing, and he was like, "Oh my God, I love this game!" And then the people over there in the press booth, right to the right of us, are looking at him. He's like, "I'm sorry." I was like, and I said, "Hip Hop Gamer." I was like, "Never apologize for being excited, my friend."
yeah,
And he gave me the E3 belt.
yeah.
He gave you the E3 belt?
Yep.
It's a mark of honor.
Obviously, no, that's a total exaggeration, but he was in front of us. Very nice guy.
Ah,
So yeah, let's go into the first game. Call of Duty started off the show. It's known to start off a lot of Xbox shows.
It looked really good, though.
Yeah, surprisingly enough. I mean, in the last couple shows, it's kind of lost its luster, but what Sledgehammer's doing with the game and moving it forward and giving like all these new gameplay elements, it looked freaking amazing.
It's like previous shows opens with Call of Duty, and you're like, oh, that's Call of Duty. This one, like, ooh, that's next gen Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, no, it looked amazing. It's set in the future, obviously, so they have they're like one of the first things we saw, aside from the visuals being amazing, like the jump jets.
yeah.
The Tribes jump jets.
They have this drone swarm at one point in the trailer, and it looks like the Sentinels from the Matrix.
That was crazy looking.
Yeah.
I was digging on the grenades that did scans, radar scans.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of like
Painted the
it's kinda
targets.
like, it's kind of like in Titanfall when you use the sonar in Titanfall.
Exactly, yeah. Very much like that. It was a pretty long demo. They showed pretty much the, I'd say it's like the first 5 minutes of like the intro sequence. But it looked phenomenal. The game
Not a
really
good day for guys that like keeping their arms, apparently.
No.
Oh, yeah, that
if
was
you
pretty-
like keeping your arms in video games, is not the place for you. Definitely
The
true.
game's got it out for arms. I don't know what it is.
The game did. I will give, and we'll move on after this. But the game did the impossible. It made me forget that Kevin Spacey was in it.
They only showed one clip of Kevin Spacey.
One clip, and I was like, oh yeah, Kevin Spacey's in this.
Well, that's
I
right.
totally forgot. So yeah, there's that.
It's pretty good, though. For me,
Did anyone else want to say anything about Call of Duty before we move on?
No,
I
just
want
love
it.
Still like the name.
What's that?
Good.
Still like the name.
Great name.
Yeah.
Advanced Warfare.
Hey, the last good Call of Duty game did have Warfare in the title, so.
And Duty.
Yeah.
A modern warfare. Yeah, going from modern to advanced.
Mhm.
Well, Ghost, yeah.
Who knows?
Wait, what's more advanced? Is it advanced or is it modern?
Oh, that's beyond you.
Well, I think
beyond-
Nintendo settled this with their handhelds.
That's the SP. It's going to be Call of Duty SP.
Well, the next gen, truly next gen, Call of Duty will have dual screen.
Call of Duty.
rated.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on here. Forza 5, give a map. Who gives a fuck? Forza Horizon 2, they showed some footage of it. It looks like Forza 5. Let's move on. Evolve, beta, and DLC. Evolve looks amazing. They didn't show too much of it.
Xbox One first, man.
There was a lot of that there, actually.
I'm sorry, you mean as far as gameplay?
No, I mean
A lot
the
of
DLC first.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
It seems as if they paid to get themselves a little preferential treatment there.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm
That's
sure
right.
we're going to be seeing more of Evolve in the next day or two, so we really don't have too much to say on that aside from what everyone's already seen. Next up, Assassin's Creed Unity, which was actually really surprising looking. What did you guys think?
Yeah, that was
they're
one of-
changing things up finally
looks
in a big way.
Right. That was like one of my most favorite games of the show.
Have we-
I say.
Have you learned the lesson yet to not entirely trust Ubisoft's?
Visually, yes, but so I'm not really completely sold on like it's gonna look that way when it comes out to be released. But they did change enough of the gameplay to make me interested in the game.
Oh no, I'm. It's like by far it's in my top 5 for this year. I mean, before the Sony conference, I put out here's my top 5 before the Sony conference, and it didn't change. I mean, it's like my number 2 most wanted game this year because I put 90 hours in 4, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah,
Yeah. This looks better than 4, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't have the sea battles, which were
Oh.
fun, but it brings
battles are crucial.
the whole French Revolution and massive crowds. Whereas in the past few games, it felt like there were people sporadically scattered around, but
It's like 20
nowhere that
people
was
lived
really.
in the
I think
country.
it's really cool that this is like a next gen only game, and they're able to do the vast crowds.
Right.
I think that some of the, especially when you go into kind of the royal buildings and the ornate decorations and just the way everything looks is just really beautiful. I mean, honestly, I don't think it was all that groundbreaking in terms of visuals, so I would expect that it should retain most of that look in the final game.
You know what it looked? It looks softer. Like everything looked really soft. Like even
Yeah, the lighting was much more that you're looking at more of the what they call the ambient occlusion type
Right.
stuff going on there. So much better, especially indoor lighting.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
And
just-
another thing, I mean, we touched a little bit on the obviously the crowds are probably one of the first things you notice, but another thing me and Jeremy were actually talking about is it opens up something that I've never really seen in any of the Assassin's Creed games is wide open spaces where you're doing a battle. I mean, but indoors still, architecturally, you're always fighting in very small rooms because you're by yourself. And by that nature, you have to have a spot where you can instantly become hidden again. But with having 4 people play at once, they allowed you to go into like these very large like ballrooms and stuff like that, and it opens up a whole kind of different thing that I think
have to
we
think
forget
and almost-
is always missing from Assassin's Creed.
almost completely change your thinking about it too, because if you're so used to going in with a stealthy approach, there's one moment where somebody purposely walked out to be seen, and was it served as a distraction as a buddy came up from behind and killed the guy. So it's like that really changes up the strategy just by having a second assassin there, and you have to approach things differently.
I wonder how they're going to handle the 4-player co-op in this game. I wonder if they're going to do it like, hey, your friends just come in and these certain missions, or if it's going to be kind of like a Dark Souls route where it's like you just press this button or whatever, and then you can summon in random people into the game, and then vice versa. It's just like, okay, put down this, kind of like summon
It could be
sign.
like it could be like per mission based maybe or something. Invite somebody in.
Because it'd be really
clearly-
cool. It would be cool. It'd be really cool if it was like a whole entire, campaign was fully co-op based. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm just wondering what the next best thing is. It's probably for my money, it'll probably be the randoms that are coming into your game rather than, but also having like people who are just who are your friends as well. All 2 of your friends on Uplay.
Don't you kind of feel though with a name like Assassin's Creed Unity that they kind of have to have the entire game be a co-op
It
experience?
didn't seem that way though. In the very last part of one of the trailers, I don't remember if it was a Microsoft one or if it was the Ubisoft one. He was by himself. The assassin was by himself for a lot of the game, and then all of a sudden he has all 3 of his friends, with him as well. So you weren't very clear on that right now. So hopefully they'll be more clear, as E3 goes along, and more interviews happen. But yeah, still really excited about it though. Like, I've been excited about Assassin's Creed for a while. Even 4, didn't excite me that much. It was just like the naval combat. So I was like, okay. Well,
The 4 broadsided me. I was not excited for it at all, and then I played it and was just glued to it. So that's why 4 is a big reason why Unity is something on my radar.
Oh, okay.
Right. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I agree with Jeremy. I hope it doesn't end up suffering the kind of Watch Dogs treatment where we end up getting a product that isn't in the same. But I don't think we're in that situation anymore.
The thing is that, I mean, we kind of know what to expect when it comes to Assassin's Creed, and when they shake up a little bit of it, it's like we're excited because, we know what to expect, and then like that little bit of like, extra bonus is enough for us to like get excited about the game. But Watch Dogs has so much promise because it's a new IP, so it's like, look at all the possibilities that it can do. We don't really think about that when it comes to Assassin's Creed. It's like, it's just going to be a killing machine, and no one's
I imagine like we see in that first reveal of it, the all the French like rushing through the door, barging it, like breaking through the gates.
Yeah.
Like imagine like they totally overstepped it and only ends up being like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. And then
Just like 3 or 4 modeled people and then sprites behind.
And they all look the same.
Oh,
Like,
It'll be like Forza.
yeah.
I'm really hoping
Oh,
for a
Cardboard
cameo
cutout.
by Jean Valjean.
Hey, post it to the devs, man. I'm saying if you want this stuff done, you have to make yourself heard. All right, and then moving on, Dragon Age Inquisition, they showed a trailer for it. Not really much to say, honestly. I know EA showed some stuff, but I think Dragon Age kind of got overshadowed by The Witcher. In my opinion. The Witcher showed really well. Moving on, though, Insomniac showed Sunset Overdrive.
That's the main reason I want to buy an Xbox.
That game just looks like fun personified. It's just like such a lighthearted, fun-looking game.
Every time they show it, it just looks better.
Yeah. It looks fantastic. That game it's like kinetically quick. It has like that kind of
wonderful rhythm to it.
Kind of like rhythm to it, and just like
I'm sure if I played it, I would have no rhythm at all. I just run into like walls and poles constantly, and
they make it look so easy though.
I want to play just like that, and then you get it at home, and you end up sucking. It's like, hey, wait a minute, this is false advertising.
Well, I don't think they're going to be doing any kind of like balancing on like the rails or anything. I think it's just going to be press a button and grind rails, kind of like.
I can still screw it up. I'll find a way.
That's the attitude.
That's the spirit. Yeah, exactly. It looks so cool though. I'm really excited for that game.
And they also talked a little bit about the 8-player Chaos Squad multiplayer. Which is I assume that's I didn't quite grasp what it was at the time. Is it a 4-on-4 versus, or is it a 8
I don't know.
player against environment kind of thing?
That was years ago when the Xbox conference took place. So I'm not.
It feels like it.
Yeah. I don't remember now.
And then Dead Rising 3 made a DLC appearance.
Arcade mode.
Is probably the funniest fucking thing that happened during the show. It's basically it's an homage to all the Capcom brands, franchises. So you have all the costumes, and they put a 4-player co-op inside of it. But when they introduced the title and they made it's the 31st anniversary with a T and an H, and the name is Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha.
I love Capcom so much. They use some of the dumbest shit like put on like on disc DLC, and then they do this shit too, and just like, oh, I can't hate you.
I can't hate you forever. It's so self-aware. It's
if Hip Hop Gamer was here right now, he would have said he liked that part too.
No, it was awesome.
It was really awesome. Hip Hop Gamer thought so too. And let's see what else. Oh, and then the show stopped for a second, where everyone took a break. Dance Central and Fantasia came out.
Everyone took a piss.
Like, this is the only time where Kinect was even implied, and it still wasn't even brought up. I mean, no one knows that Kinect is actually used for Dance Central. It was never said. The word Kinect was never said. But people kind of tuned out for a little bit, and then they came back in with Fable Legends. Jeremy, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was. At first, I wasn't that interested because it was like a 4-player co-op multiplayer Fable game, and then like, okay, so it's a multiplayer Fable MMO, and it even kind of looked like Fable Gears of War because there's a guy with a gun and everything, and it's third person. But then they're like, oh, you could be the villain, and it goes to like a map screen, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's Dungeon Keeper.
Pretty much,
I gotta play this now. It's a Dungeon Keeper game. So that made it actually kind of interesting, and the beta is going to start, I guess, in December. They're doing signups for it already.
I really like multiplayer modes that are like that do something interesting with like the 4th or 5th player or whatever. It's because it's like an asymmetrical perspective for like the 5th player, correct? Or how's that?
Exactly. It is an asymmetrical.
I love that for games. What was the game that came out? I keep forgetting it. Natural Selection. Like, more games that have that kind of like different gameplay, different multiplayer, and ingrained into the regular like multiplayer is really, really cool for me. So stoked about that, and have been stoked about a Fable game for a while.
Yeah, it looks promising. I'm definitely a lot more excited about it than when they originally announced it. Didn't have much faith in it, but it looks like it's coming together well.
Yeah, it better be. Or it'll be the end of Fable.
I mean, I do. There's part of me that thinks this can't be a Fable game because there's no Molyneux. And I think maybe
that was a problem, though.
Maybe Molyneux's doing an experiment. Like, what if he created a game but he wasn't there?
What if at the end of Fable Legends, you like turn to the camera and it was Molyneux the whole time? You were playing as him.
Imagine, if you will, a game where I'm not there the entire time.
But then I am
the end,
here the whole time.
I was there the whole time. You will learn to love. You will learn fear.
It's just like, no!
Oh, Molyneux! And then they showed some more Project Spark, and kind of just showed the different like the diversity in the gameplay designs. You can show stuff off. I mean, it's still very abstract. They haven't really got down to really showing how this happens, but you can do it, that kind of thing. And they showed some first-person shooter stuff that they added into the game. And then they showed a cameo of Conker.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big thing.
That happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and then it was funny because you're wondering why are they showing Project Spark? The game's out, and then Conker shows up. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something's happening. And he chops up the title, and it's like, oh, so they're gonna make official name, right? It's no longer Project something.
Yeah.
Nope.
I said the same thing to
nothing.
Randy. I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna announce a title for it.
Yeah, no, it's still Project Spark. They put the name back together, like, still Project Spark.
It's still
I
Project.
really wanted to chop that thing.
We're just fucking with you.
Yeah.
We're not changing it.
We
Screw
really
you.
don't know what to do with this character that we own, so we got to throw him in somewhere.
He even
got
makes
my-
a comment.
I
Oh, it's been
got
like freaking 10 years since my last game. Oh well, might as well just make a fake game.
Yeah, right.
They got my hopes up so high, and then they just toppled them over.
Yeah.
It's really though. Why would you do that to your fans?
I don't know.
So moving on, they showed a couple of indie games. We have Ori and Blind Forest. Blind Forest looked really nice.
Well, in Ori, the funny thing about Ori is they did the same thing in the Ubisoft press conference with their Ubi art game, which is really sad with this dog. And then in
Dog and
this,
Hearts.
in Ori, it's like the big guy dies, and he's like trying to wake him up. I'm like, what's these two depressing indie games?
Yeah, it's like you cannot make an indie game unless you have like an abundance of guilt, or
Your parents died or something in the beginning of the game.
or like you bought something from Abercrombie and Fitch and they didn't return it for you. You had to keep the money. It all kind of has a very like American Apparel aesthetic to it. That's what indie games have become, like the American Apparel of video games.
I thought it looked beautiful.
It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. But I feel the same way about American Apparel clothes.
We need an indie game that's white girl, the indie game, and just like her Starbucks spills in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
We're on an epic
I
quest.
feel like we are on that path. We're definitely getting close to the First World Problems game.
Coming soon
Should
from
you use Yoshida
1985
announces
Game
it?
Studios.
Yoshida announces it at E3 2015. It's just like now coming to PlayStation 4. White girl indie game.
I left my credit card at home.
And then this was a big one for a lot of people. Halo, Master Chief Collection. Jeremy, you shit a fanboy brick. Tell us about it.
NT Colonel was right.
Hey.
Hey, NT Colonel, everything he said, it came true. It's going to come out November 11th, and of course they came out and showed a CG trailer for Halo 5. Actually, 2 CG trailers for Halo 5. But like, we got to go back to our history. So they're going to release Halo Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 4, all on one disc for $60. Halo 2 original multiplayer is in there. All the multiplayer for the other games are in there. It's going to have all 100 maps, so every Halo map ever made. It's all 4 of them will be 1080p 60 frames per second. They had better be. It's going to include the Ridley Scott produced live action miniseries or whatever it's going to be, called Halo Nightfall. Then you get the Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer beta around December, which is included with the collection. Show the CG trailer for that. And then, to the amazement of the guy sitting next to me, it has 4,000 gamer score. And the guy's like, "What's 4,000 gamer score?" And I'm looking at this and I'm like,
What are you doing here?
Why are you here?
What's a gamer score?
I know. It's like, maybe one of the planets that were orbiting him moved in front of his head and he was confused.
Yeah.
I thought this was the Kings game.
He was a big guy.
Where are the kings?
Where are the kings?
Now that initial initial CG trailer, I thought maybe that was supposed to be Halo 2.
It was.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
part where he's dropping the bomb on the Covenant ship. That's Halo 2. That's
Right.
part of Halo 2, and it was the new character watching the recorded like history of Master Chief and watching that part, and that was a big hint to Halo 2 anniversary too as well. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, of course they're gonna
Right.
announce it, but it's a great deal. It's $60. You get all that on one disc. They have Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 all unlocked, so you can play them in any order you want. And then they're gonna have like a thing to mix and match like multiplayer modes and maps from each game, so you can make like a really custom playlist out of all 4 games. So it's kind of, I mean, if this actually could, get, you have people who are still holding on to their Xbox 360s for Halo. This could get them to upgrade to the Xbox One because it's all on one disc. I mean, Microsoft actually would kind of be smart to even do a bundle, bundle that with the Xbox One,
Oh,
and they sell a ton in November.
that's
Yeah, and they got
obvious.
it coming out at a perfect time. It's a great holiday release. It's hard not
Weeks
to
before
see the
Black
value
Friday,
proposition in it.
yeah.
If you even if you slightly are interested in these games, $60 for all these games with as much content that's in there, it's pretty crazy. Let's see here, and then there was a 2000. So all these games that they showed at that point, which are the games we've talked about, were 2014 releases. So they got that out of the way.
That is really cool then.
Yeah, so everything we've talked about is coming out this year, which says a lot for Xbox. That's a very good position
Yeah,
to have
good.
those many
Yeah.
titles coming
It's a
out.
good way to organize
before
the
the end of the year.
conference too. That way.
Yeah, so then at that point they said everything that we show you is stuff, at this point, is stuff we are working on for hopefully release in 2015. And they started with a new game from the designer of Limbo, I believe, Playdead. And this game, what was it called? I can't remember.
Inside.
The Inside, yeah. It's an indie game. I think we just talked about what indie games are. It's one of
But
those.
it has
too. It just looks a little bit better than those.
it
Is
has
it-
more color than Limbo.
It has a little bit of a color, a little somber. No one likes a
It got
happy
kind
indie
of
game.
an odd Valve vibe off of it, actually.
Yeah,
Alf 5 or Alf? What'd you say?
Valve.
Valve.
Like Valve.
It's
Oh,
like
Valve.
if Valve was stuck inside on a rainy day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sounds about
You're
right.
kind of in this dry corporate environment, and you're surrounded by workers and stuff. And it almost kind of felt
Valve was forced to endure corporate culture. This is what you would get.
Valve goes public the game.
Yeah, and then they followed it up with the indie sizzle reel. They showed a lot of games. The only two that I think. I know Jeremy had a couple too. Mighty Number 9, which I showed just a split second of, looked freaking awesome.
And
Yeah.
Cupman.
And Cupman.
It's a platformer that's made to look like 1930s Disney.
Oh my
cartoons.
god, that looked amazing.
The
Yeah,
animation
it's coming to
was
Xbox
ridiculous.
One, and they at the Sony conference, I was looking for it in the indie sizzle reel they did, and I didn't even see its name up on the wall. So I'm wondering if maybe it's
Oh, that's so
going to be
that's probably
exclusive.
I think it's going to be exclusive
Xbox One
to
only.
Microsoft, yeah.
It looked. I mean, it was what they showed was nothing we haven't seen already from it, but it was in motion, and it's Cupman. It looks awesome, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's coming to the Xbox One.
Didn't they show this last year as well?
No, Cupman was actually revealed just a few months ago, actually, as an indie game being worked on.
Yeah, I remember seeing it earlier.
Yeah, it was originally
I
going
do
to be
too.
on PC, and then they didn't say anything
I
about
remember seeing it a
consoles.
while back. Yeah. But
And then they showed, much to my joy, they showed Threes. It's been
I
on
love that
iOS
game.
for a
Okay,
long
that's
time.
it's gonna
but
need
it's probably
Connect.
the best game in the world.
It's gonna have to need Connect gesture controls.
Would be the word. It would be so horrible. Just like, come on, now move. Come on.
that's why you bought an Xbox One, right
Yeah,
there.
to play Threes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Threes and
definitely.
Peggle. That's it.
To play that $2.99 iOS game. Great game though. Can't take anything away from him.
Yeah.
And this was I wasn't surprised, but I guess I was more happy to see the reaction from everyone
Yeah.
when we
Yep.
saw the reveal trailer of the sequel to Tomb Raider: Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ah,
My God, like they're doing it starts off where she's talking to like a shrink and kind of talking about the things she went over in the first game and like dealing with it, and as it gets about like halfway through that segment, you're like, oh my, they're gonna do another one, and it's a cinematic trailer. It doesn't show any gameplay, but it gets
no, that
you,
was
like,
gameplay in that therapy
Oh,
office.
gameplay?
That was you actually play that.
Oh,
talking
beautiful.
to the therapist.
Oh, the whole therapist thing
Right,
was
simulated therapy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a David Cage game. David Cage's Tomb Raider. Very nice. Looking forward to that. But oh man, I love that they're still there. They're finding a new way to continue down this line, like
Right,
what they set in the first game.
With a psychological insight and everything going in there.
I'm glad that there's
just-
still more to explore.
Right, just tonally wise, it's spot on to what we're looking for, I think.
Mhm.
And just what we really enjoyed story wise with the first game. One of my top 3 games of last year, so absolutely looking forward to this hugely. Just awesome to
Yeah.
see.
No, yeah, look, I imagine
It's a
seeing
rare
it.
case of a reboot going right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
And it's
Um,
like, and the fidelity of the last game was top of the line. You know, it still
Really
looks
was,
really
yeah.
good to this day. So like, you know, just having a cinematic trailer is like, you know, I trust that developer. You know, I know that's going to make something
Yeah.
really, really nice. So
They just have a good amount to live up to now.
Yeah, they do.
It felt like from playing the original games, there was still it's in that great situation where the foundation was so good, but you could see the room for improvement where it's going to have that sequel that is able
Yeah, as
to
long
have
as they
enough
don't
room to
mess-
build upon it.
As long as they don't mess too much with that foundation, because again, the gunplay just felt so perfect.
Well, I think the only thing they could really do to mess it up, like just off the top of the head, is addressing the complaints that people had before with not being enough puzzles. I think
I think that's a good thing, though.
It's
I mean,
a good
it
thing,
looks
but
like
there
she's
ha-
gonna
there has
do
to be a
more
balance.
Tomb raiding.
there has to be a balance because I mean that game had a very good pacing to it. It had excellent pacing.
Yeah.
Puzzles. I mean, understand that was what the original game is, but this isn't that original game. There's a lot far removed from that game.
Then I would want to see more puzzles as side missions because
They were side missions to begin with.
I don't think there was
they-
enough of them even in the side missions, though.
And they weren't
And
terribly
and-
difficult either.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to get at. You know, they're not very difficult to get through.
Yeah, I mean the original ones were very analytical kind of like logic puzzles, and these ones were pretty much just like trial and error, like manipulation of environmental objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally different situation, but yeah, I mean I'm sure.
Let's talk about Tomb Raider for a while.
Yeah, right. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Ooh, so good. I'm so surprised at how good that game looks. Still, like it's
I
ridiculous.
don't know if it's, it just makes me want to see Cyberpunk 2077 that much more.
I forgot
oh
about that
yeah, I
game,
forgot
yeah.
about that one.
I feel like this company right now is one of those rare companies that has the ability to self-publish and develop and put out games that are fantastic and not restricted by publishers, and but they're able to actually deliver on it. So I mean, and Witcher I think is a perfect example of that. So I'm curious what's going to
Take
happen.
notes,
with Cyberpunk.
Valve.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really, really polished, and it's great to see another reason to like upgrade, you know, computers. So
Yeah.
It's
Hey
great
Jeremy,
to see
you
a
love
reason
that armor. You love that armor texture.
No, well, the armor texture was impressive.
Yeah, that thing looked
Yeah.
freaking amazing. One of the big things that they were touting in that, since the game is called The Wild Hunt, is that it has kind of like a monster hunter aspect to it, where you find beasts and you make it a quest to track them down. And whenever you injure them, they leave blood trails so you can you don't necessarily have to find them at that instance, but you can track their blood to continue the quest. And the way they go about it is pretty seamless. It's not really intrusive into any other side mission if you choose to go another route. I mean, other than that, if you played The Witcher before, obviously it's very morally shades of gray. They're where we talk about games that have moral compasses that are very black and white, and you pretty much decide from the onset, am I going to be good or am I going to be bad? This game deals with there not really being a clear sense of where you're going to put all the people or how you're going to affect people.
there's just choices.
Yeah, it's really a really cool way they go about it. So.
And something I really liked about it, I mean, not a lot of people are talking about, is just I love the music in the game. Like, I love the direction they're taking as far as music.
Mhm.
It's a lot different than most other kind of like fantasy type games. You know, they're like having like this like gypsy kind of like, you know, music in the background. And it's like it works weirdly enough.
A little bit like a gypsy, like swashbuckling kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that's like really cool as far as like tone goes. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's gonna try to sound like Skyrim or it's trying to sound like Fable or anything. With these other kind of like same type of universes where it's like medieval fantasy
period
style.
appropriate, probably, right?
Well, yeah, and the thing is, like, those are all in kind of the same type of period, but they all take from like the same, type of music. It feels like, it's very orchestral.
Which is like a post Lord of the Rings type.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm kind of, the music is great, but just kind of like, I mean, this is a small thing, but like, it's really like, makes the game that much different. Like, something to look forward to. Just like, they're pushing the boundaries and doing things that other games aren't really doing as often nowadays.
Let's talk about the Division.
Oh man, I wish I saw more gameplay.
I feel like between Ubisoft and this, we saw quite a bit.
Oh, and those voice actors, they almost had me. They almost convinced me they were real players.
Oh my god, that's the one thing. Like Ubisoft loves their real world chatter.
Yes, they do.
If I had a team with that good of communication,
like
it would just never die.
Yeah,
like, they must have went to the Tomb Raider therapist.
Else.
They went to the Tomb Raider group counseling and figured out how to work as a team. And this is what you get. You get an Ubisoft demo.
Yeah.
But the game looks fantastic. Obviously, it's been delayed till 2015. No one really thought that it was coming out in 2014. But till now it might be 2016. But the game looks great. Jeremy, you want to talk about Scalebound?
Yeah, this was another NT kernel link that came true. One of the leaks was that Platinum Games was working on an exclusive for the Xbox One, and they showed the CG trailer, and they said that it's taking action to an epic level never seen before, and it looks like it's going to be trained dragons that fight giant kaiju monsters.
Yeah.
Sold.
Pretty much what we've been asking for.
Who doesn't want that, though?
Yeah, who doesn't want that? That looks pretty damn awesome.
No one doesn't want that.
It was just a CG trailer, a teaser, but that's
got a
ways off.
Got a
If you
very.
can't get a remake of what was the game? Rise of the Monsters or something? Or
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I want to say it's a Clash.
that one.
King of the Monsters.
King of Monsters.
Sure, something. Well,
Monsters.
King of.
It's called Monster Monsters. I believe.
Singing monsters.
Singing Monsters.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's the harmonics
Pocket
one, right?
Monsters.
Okay.
Looks cool.
But
Next.
anyway, it's a
I'm getting a real like Devil May Cry
Xbox One
vibe.
exclusive, and that's kind of
That's
kind of a big
crazy.
Yeah. So Nintendo, unfortunately, you don't have a monopoly on that.
Platinum loves making fucking exclusives for like all kinds of different platforms. It
Platinum
really
has no
pisses me
loyalty. No loyalty. They'll sell
off.
themselves to
But
anyone.
all the loyalty at the same time.
It's a weird anomaly. It's a catch-22. All the loyalty, yet none of it. And then finally they closed the show. Oh, actually, we didn't talk about it. Phantom Dust.
Oh yeah. At first I thought, maybe it'd be Voodoo Vince, but no. Ken Lobb brought out a CG trailer for a new Phantom Dust, and that's kind of exciting. That was a real
Hidden gem.
yeah, it was a
Yeah,
hidden
it's
gem. It was a
original.
cult classic on the Xbox One that people loved, and they're doing a new one. So it looks like it's going to continue some of the same style gameplay, and yeah, it's pretty exciting for that.
was kinda
It's
hoping.
really cool to see them like kind of going back and mining through some of the games they did have as exclusives, knowing that maybe they're known too much for third-party games, so they're getting some of those back and
Crimson Skies.
fans.
They own the IP of Crimson Skies, so they
Crimson
can't
Skies.
do it. They
And-
can't do Crimson Skies.
They can't do it?
They can.
Yeah,
They own all
they-
the Masa IPs.
They can't. do it.
They need to do that
They
game.
need to do it.
That would be cool.
And then reviving not really a reboot or anything like that, but just to bring back a game that hasn't been around for a while. They announced Crackdown.
Yes.
Yes.
And it was awesome. They're smashing down a skyscraper.
Yeah, people were losing their shit on this one.
They turned the skyscraper into a projectile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that gang member's like, aha, I'm shooting down your planes. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck you. Here comes a big.
Here comes a building for a missile.
Yeah.
So
How much cloud computing did that take in order to run?
All of the clouds, actually.
Everyone who's bought an Xbox One has
Probably
participated
Seattle's
in making
worth.
that game. Everyone gave a little bit of their CPU for that. That's why they got rid of the Kinect. All right, so that's Microsoft and Xbox One. That's the beginning of our show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the most recent conference. We're going to talk about Sony. They had a lot of things they talked about, not just games. So when we come back, we'll have more of the 1985 FM podcast. Stick with us. We'll be back very shortly.
Ubisoft had a great show today, but I'm a little concerned that those making the trailers are suffering from depression. I know I am now. It's on Twitter.
The game I was thinking of was Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah,
those stupid
that's the one.
monsters.
I play that game a lot.
Jesus, we have a lot of viewers.
Good for us. Let's make this a short break and keep it going.
Be right back.
Oh, that's the wrong sound.
Oh my gosh, that Arkham Knight trailer is so rad.
Oh my god, that got me so rock hard.
What?
It got me so rock hard. Oh my god.
Brett is just like, wait, what? That's inappropriate.
I was at work and I needed a moment alone.
I had to stand behind a desk for a while.
No, I had an issue with it.
What?
Batman does not need armor unless he's fighting Superman.
That is true, and
Right.
also he's never uses guns unless they're attached to his fucking Batmobile. Then he doesn't give
Apparently.
any fucks.
As long as it's vehicle versus vehicle, he's totally fine blowing shit up.
Yeah, I love how it's kind of, it's not colorful, but like the colors like pop. I don't know, like it seems
It's called good graphics.
It's just called good graphics, pretty much. It's not grays and browns anymore. I'm glad we're kind of getting over that. Very good to see in the industry.
I mean, I'm surprised how quickly we're seeing like next-gen only games like that. Like I would have fully expected this to be like cross-gen.
Talk about quick. I was surprised that we are getting Uncharted, whatever, The Last Thief or whatever the fuck it's called, 2015.
Yeah.
That is surprising to me, and I don't think they're gonna keep that promise. I think it's gonna be 2016.
Hey.
They
They might shed half their team during the crunch, but they'll make it.
Maybe like Jeremy, you said they had a crunch thing going on for The Last of Us. Maybe they'll just pull it together for that too.
Well, they're working on 3 games.
Oh yeah, right. They have another.
They have Last of Us, the Uncharted, and then an unknown game.
It's gonna be Jack and Daxter.
All right, guys. If you're watching on the live feed right now, we're getting ready to start the second segment. But feel free to ask us a question. We're going to answer them in the last half, and we're going to pick at random. We don't have a lot to give away today, but we do have some swag. And this right here, we have a Ori and the Blind Forest T-shirt. It's a
My favorite franchise.
really happening shirt. So we'll pick someone at random who ask a question during the show, and just send us your mailing address, and we'll send it to you.
I have a question.
You cannot ask a question, sir. You're on the
You
show.
can't participate in a contest.
You cannot participate in this contest.
I'll draw you Ori shirt on with a Sharpie and like a white T-shirt. If that's
Yeah,
what you want.
for a consolation
That was-
prize, Lawrence will draw you an.
I will draw.
T3
I
shirt.
will legitimately do that for you.
We will totally do that. So
You're a
ask
sweet
your
soul.
questions, and towards the end of the show, we're going to do a Q&A section. Looking forward to it, as there's a lot of things that we're not going to be able to cover, obviously. So let's start with the second part of the podcast.
All right.
Sony.
All right, we are back, and we're talking about the Sony press conference, which ended just a little bit before the show. Who wants to kind of start us off?
All right. Well, they showed Destiny, and it was a kind of a big, with a voiceover. Does anybody know who that actor was? Was it like a big name
No
who did that
idea.
voiceover? Anyway, it's a big cinematic trailer. But then they announced the beta starts on PlayStation first exclusively July 17th. But actually this week, Thursday specifically, you can get into a sort of a short alpha on the PS4. So that's going to be happening. And then there's a bundle. So one of the really interesting things is that we're actually getting a new PS4, which is white, which is bundled with Destiny. It comes out September. So provided the game isn't a complete flop, that should be interesting.
It might be worth it just for the PlayStation.
Yeah, right.
I would think I'm gonna have to trade in my current one to get one of the white ones.
Whoa, wait a minute. You got a problem with the black consoles?
They got a problem, man.
You got me.
Yeah, you realize that 20% of our cast here is African American, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
It
very
has
offensive, Nathan.
With color, I'm not winning this one, am I?
No, you backed yourself in a corner. You got
No,
kind
it's cool. It's a
Yeah.
cool.
Sorry,
going
Nathan.
there.
Sorry he did that to you, man. I don't respect you.
Terrible.
They also showed The Order, some gameplay footage in 30 frames per second because it looks a lot more cinematic.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm just trying to imagine myself playing. It's like, it looks slow.
that was the first time that they showed the monsters up close.
Yeah, those look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it
They
still
got the
looks nice.
stretching ability, which was in a horror movie one time. I think some ice cream man could stretch himself. But anyway,
I thought it was pretty hilarious when the monster's like, "You peasant," and I was just like, 30 frames per second. Peasants.
30?
jeez, you got a bit of a complex going there. 1% of gamers.
Let's talk about Entwined.
It's
Fine.
pretty.
You were.
It's out right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is out right now.
For $10, it's supposed to be cross-buy when it comes out on PS3 and Vita.
And in 2
Nathan,
months
tell
it'll be
me,
free on PS Plus.
Can you please tell me what the fuck's going on in Entwined?
It's a
From
twin
what I
stick
can,
computer that two users are trying to get close to each other, but they can't get too close, even though they're in love.
So it's
They're
like the
in lo-
Ghost,
that-
like it's like the Ghostbusters rays.
right. The Rays
More
were in
love.
love and they couldn't touch. That's exactly like that.
You can,
Right.
Okay.
Can't
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to watch this conference to know they're in love, because I don't think the game would probably explain that.
It looked like a Jeff Minter game.
Oh, what's that?
It looked like a Jeff Minter game. Like Tempest or
Oh, yeah, very
Space
much so,
Llama
yeah.
or something. Really, like, hey, you gotta go to Colorado and smoke a lot and then play the game. And you'll get it.
Yeah, it's very very res. Let's see here. Infamous Second Son's getting a DLC. It's a female antagonist, much to the pleasure of Anita Sarkeesian. Coming in August. It's a
Foremost
standalone
expert.
DLC. So if you don't own Infamous Second Son, you can still play this game. A lot of light
kinda
shooting.
cool.
Yeah, it looked really good. I mean, the first
Why
one.
would
looked
you
amazing.
Why would you buy this and not Second Son?
I don't know. I'm
Unless
sure
you're Anita. I don't get
if you are a person who owns a PS4 and you have yet to play Infamous Second Son, but you plan on buying this, leave a comment inside the in the chat and tell us why you would play this
This
without.
isn't exactly Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, so I don't,
Yeah, it's not like a dramatic tonal shift or anything like that.
right, with a standalone. Well, I guess the story is by itself, but it's still rooted in the main game. So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't really get it.
if there was something that you saw in this DLC that attracted you to the game, and you're like, oh, I really want to play this game, it's pretty much out there, so you probably should have already started playing it. Let's see, Little Big Planet 3. Oh, God.
Surprised.
God.
It came out of nowhere. It really did.
They said they weren't going to be there. That's
I never believe a dev when they tell you that.
Oh my God,
Right.
how many fucks can I
them.
not give? Jesus
Really? You don't-
Christ, I do not give a fuck about Little Big Planet.
Let's talk
I
about how
love
this was
Sony,
revealed.
and I
though.
hate this fucking franchise.
All right, so
Hate it?
Yeah, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Pardon my
here.
fuck.
it's a fine line between apathy and hate there. The fact that they just showed up on stage is like, okay, so we're gonna play Little Big Planet. Wait, was this already announced? What is that? Is like they thought maybe it was leaked already, and they're just like,
Right.
there's no build up or anything. It's just like, okay, here's Little Big Planet 3. Well, hold up.
Wall
We were
jumps
not
are very
informed.
difficult. It's very difficult to wall jump in that game.
Right, you've got different SAC characters.
Also, the bird is fucking OP as shit.
The bird is OP.
Bypass any kind of obstacle.
Everyone in the game has a different sack.
That's right, of the different sizes and weight and abilities.
Project Beast has a name. It's called Bloodborne. From
Yeah.
Software.
Oh, we're already transitioning. We
Yeah.
totally don't give fucks about Little
You
Big
know, when we
Planet.
start talking about the diverse nature of sacks, it's time to move on. It's definitely time to keep going.
Let's talk about the diverse
We could
nature
go
of
to a
sacks and
different show about all the different sacks there are.
Brendan, you've been covering this game on 1985 FM. You want to talk about it?
I have. I think we're all big fans of the whole series, but this one, unlike Dark Souls 2, has the original producer and director from Demon Souls and Dark Souls, which is exciting. It also kind of is a whole. It's a really big departure from kind of the old medieval type of sword.
Mhm.
More in the
previous
fantasy.
games.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not supposed to be based upon on the Dark Souls series. It's based upon another series that From Software has done. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I think they just took that series and just Dark Souls it up as far as gameplay goes a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like it strikes me as just Dark Souls with like a turn of the century European kind of twist to it.
It's
Right.
Dark Souls meets The Order.
And almost like I don't want to say steampunk, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of like engineering kind of focus in it. Yeah, I mean it looks
Anyways,
promising.
it
I mean,
looks
those
interesting.
games are great. Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll be nice to see real gameplay from the footage.
Yeah,
And,
we got some of that leaked, but not here.
Yeah.
game gifts.
I'm trying to think.
Well, who knows? That might not have been real.
I don't know.
Really good.
Uh,
Really good fake.
we know better than that.
Far Cry 4 showed it off.
Yeah.
So if there's any game that's going to suffer from Ubisoft's trend of degrading visual quality, I think it's going to be this one because it looks a little too good. I think. I don't know. It's a really attractive game. I will say that much.
I don't get I really don't get the feeling that it's anything exceptional.
Well, okay. So for instance, you start with the first 5 minutes of game, which we'll talk about later, which is in the Ubisoft conference, where it's inside the bus, and there's really good rendering on like the monkey and the lighting and everything that's going on there. Then you saw a few sequences where he was actually in the air, and he's got like this high perspective over the forest, and the density and the level of the lighting and everything that's going on right in there. It's just I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm being cautiously optimistic.
I am also cautiously optimistic about the quality of that game. I guess when we talk about more of they showed the 7 minutes of co-op footage in the Sony conference, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so I saw a leak of that video well in advance before the Sony conference, and it was two devs talking over it, saying, "Oh, this is gameplay footage. That part where the bird takes the whatever, I guess like some sort of like animal, like a rabbit or something. That doesn't just happen. That doesn't happen because it's scripted in there. It just just happened just because those two AIs meet." And then I was like, that looks cool when I saw that video. And then they showcased the video at the conference without the devs talking over it, with the same exact interactions and the same exact way of going through it. And just like, it seems a bit disingenuous.
Well,
I mean, like if it was an other game, like maybe it's just like, okay, let's see what happens, But Far Cry 3 had like the same deal where it's like, this is gonna definitely look like this, and then
to be fair, I mean there were situations in Far Cry 3 where like the humans, the inhabitants of it would fight like tigers and stuff like that, and those were random encounters that happened.
Oh, I totally understand that happening, but when they say one thing is like this is happening in real time and we're playing this, and then they have it already recorded, at another conference. It's kind of hard to, trust you. And on top of that, having the history of Ubisoft, kind of bringing out, subpar, not subpar, but like not exactly what they're showing at E3 games as far as the way they look.
Like, for the purpose of the demo, I think what they're trying to do is just like show you the possibilities of it. I know it's not a completely honest portrayal of the situation at hand, but it is telling you the situations that you will come across eventually. Maybe not in a vertical 5-minute slice, but I mean you have to stack these situations. Like if you look at the Evil Within, which they showed today, a lot of those scenes were kind of just stacked on top of each other, so it looked like you could see the variety that was happening. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's tough to do when you're doing a demo. You have to be able to show like the various layers of dynamic.
I mean, like if it seems
gameplay.
Kind of, yeah, I don't know. It looks really fun. I mean, I'm just like Nathan. I'm just cautiously optimistic because
But to be fair, too, and I know we'll talk about it later, but when they showed Far Cry 4 in the Ubisoft demo, the more than likely they were showing say PC footage on a high-end rig.
Right.
Assumably, the Sony conference one was actually supposed to be running on a PS4.
Yeah, that's what's really interesting about it, because it looked that good, and you're seeing DualShock prompts coming on the screen. I was like, that's really interesting.
I'm actually surprised, even just in overall terms.
Right.
Ubisoft and other games too, how good things are looking at this stage, but especially considering that this is a cross-gen game too.
Is it a cross-gen? I didn't know it was going to be for 360.
Yeah, it's cross-gen.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean that has to weigh into it a little bit. Let's see. Let's move on here.
We didn't talk about the co-op in the game, did we? Because that's, like the main thing about that video. What was really cool about that is that if your friend doesn't have the game at all, he can actually play co-op in it. And
I forgot about that. And that's
Mooch co-op.
And that's
not couch co-op. If you're if Nathan doesn't have Far Cry 4 and I do, we can play together co-op.
Oh no, I was calling it Mooch co-op.
Oh, Mooch co-op. Yes, I love that.
The future of a couch co-op.
I expect one of you to buy it, so I don't have to.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's a family sharing. Let's see. Dead Island 2 was shown. Does anyone want to talk about this?
I thought it was Dying Light, and then I got kind of disappointed. Moving on.
I thought it was Dead Island, and I got excited.
All right. Quick vote from the viewers. Does anyone want to talk about Battlefield Hardline? I feel like we've seen plenty of it in the last couple weeks. We've talked about it. So unless you guys want to hear about it, I'm going to
again.
We'll come back to it if you guys want to talk about it.
We'll go on a roof and do a gameplay demo.
Yeah. We'll sit in the 10-minute.
I'll check it out and get back to you guys.
Yeah. Paradox Interactive making PlayStation exclusives, and they showed Magicka 2. You will learn the spell.
Man, that trailer was freaking awesome. That was a really funny trailer.
Really cool trailer.
The cat died.
Yeah, that was kind of sad, but it was really funny.
This made people go nuts. They're doing a remake of Grim Fandango.
Yeah,
remaster
awesome.
rather.
Huge
Remaster.
fan service
Awesome.
there.
Yeah, that's.
GG, Sony.
I hope this leads to more remakes that Tim Schafer has the rights to.
Yeah, they specifically said thanks to Disney that they were able to do this.
Oh, so hopefully this means like Maniac Mansion will get like lifted. Like I would, or any of the Day of the Tentacle stuff, like any of that LucasArts stuff, I would love to see.
Yeah, like
I can see Day of Tentacle probably coming back. I
Even
don't know.
Maniac
Hopefully, if this does well, then yeah. So buy it, support, and we'll see more.
Definitely. Let It Die, this new Suda 51 exclusive.
Let it die, let it
It
die.
looks like a Manhunt, and I'm like,
That's what I thought.
it's
wow.
like, I don't know. He's just like trying to shock people.
Senseless
That's
murder.
the thing.
Yeah.
Boo.
He's just trying to shock people. When we talk to them tomorrow, I'm bringing that up.
A lot of holes in torso.
Just trying to shock people, man.
Stop it. It's like I'm
What's going
sorry.
on, Suda?
It's like I'm sorry.
If I can call
You
you,
have to try
Suda.
harder.
You need to grow up.
It's torture porn the game, as someone else said.
You keep this up, you're gonna be Suda 49 in my book. Think about that. Abzu. from the
Yeah,
makers of Journeys.
look gorgeous.
Yeah. No, all those
We
games
don't
seem
know
to look amazing.
how it plays or anything about it, but it's got fish.
It's got abs and zoos.
It's got like colorful things. I think I found Nemo at one point in the trailer.
Nice.
So that's it's the ocean, man.
All right, let's
I'll be
cut the
honest, I
bullshit,
kind of
guys.
fell asleep.
Let's talk about a game that looked flippin' amazing. No Man's Sky from Hello Games.
Hell yeah, the real
Made by-
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Made by
Oh.
4 people.
This game is
4 fucking people. Who
Freaking
know Joe Danger?
amazing looking. First of all, their ship looks like an X-wing ship.
But why would that appeal to you, Randy?
I have no idea why I would listen to MakingStarWars.net now. This is podcasting every Monday.
Wait a minute. Hey,
That's a nice plug.
everybody just left right then to go listen.
No Man's Sky, it looks freaking amazing.
Oh,
Really,
geez.
really
So,
Like, just how
everybody
seamless.
gets put on their own planet.
Yep.
They have to find other people.
Yep.
You got to find your way onto a ship and fly to another galaxy and hope you run into somebody who's not a douche.
And you can keep your planet a secret from everyone else, or you can make it public so people can harvest your planet for resources. You know, it's totally up to you.
So can you like carve your planet and make shapes in it? Because I'd make mine in the shape of an ass.
I don't know if you can actually. They haven't really discussed if there's any kind of way of adjusting.
I'd
the
call it
terrain.
Uranus 2, the sequel.
It's fucking genius. Let's do it right now. I'm really happy that they're actually making the game though, because
It seems like just in the short time when we last saw it at VGX, it's come along a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
It's amazing how I mean, it's almost like, are we ever going to see this game again after the flooding? You know,
Right.
Right. Yeah,
And,
well,
it's still-
those who were listening, if you weren't aware, Hello Games, their whole setup got flooded, and there was a point where they weren't sure, like everything got lost for the most part, and they needed help to get the game continuing development. And obviously that happened, and I assume Sony had quite a bit to do with that. And the game looks fantastic. Just like the way they have these randomly generated planets and how seamlessly you move from each planet, and the space battles that happen in between look amazing. All like the battle cruisers that are in the
Right.
space. The game looks fantastic. And the fact that 4 people made this game is
4
extremely
fucking
impressive.
people.
Yeah, it's
What have you done with
They-
your life?
like you can tell like these people have devoted their fucking very essence.
They need
to, like,
all the
making this
money.
game.
Yeah.
Just
They
throw
deserve
all
it.
the
I mean,
money at them.
I'm just so happy that the flooding didn't completely ruin them, because that destroyed all their equipment. So I have no idea how this game has come to being. I'm not sure what kind of witch or gypsy
Cutting
is
edge
some of it.
forensics people.
I think there's a
recover
Stephen
data.
King movie that deals with this kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure there is, you know. So I mean, it's great, because I was like really upset when it happened. I was like, well, I can never love again after, because it was
really
so
did,
cool.
and it did happen like almost like immediately after that
Immediately
debut.
Yeah, like you see the game, you're like, oh, that looks amazing. A week later, everyone's dead. You're like, oh.
I had a crush
Why?
on everyone.
Yeah.
Like
I never got a chance to say I loved her.
It's a real life Game of Thrones.
Yeah, right.
Oh god.
Okay. Sony also announced that they're going to have YouTube streaming coming to a PS4, or YouTube uploading. Sorry about that. And
So you should be able to monetize very easily.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any issue with putting a copyrighted material onto YouTube. They're usually pretty cool with that. They,
There's no track record of any issues whatsoever.
They're equal opportunity rights sharers. So yeah, don't worry about that.
The pure boon.
Obviously, I mean, I think we were talking about it before the show. I think it's pretty safe to say that profit sharing is probably going to be locked in this. This feature. Anything that's uploaded from the PlayStation is going to be banned from profit sharing.
That's what I anticipate, but I'm not sure. I mean, you probably change that once it's already on YouTube and go onto the website from your computer. But I
hope Sony's not listening to this.
Yeah,
I don't know. Have to change the whole thing.
Yeah, start from scratch.
They're going to cancel the
guy. He's a crack. He's a hacker. Catch me if you can.
Did we say YouTube? I meant Ustream. Sorry, Ustream app is coming to PS4.
You're gonna have Tom Hanks coming after you now.
As if there weren't enough reasons to get naked for people on the internet, Playroom is giving you more DLC to give you more reasons to do lewd things in front of a camera. Jeremy, how do you feel about this?
All right.
Freddy Krueger's probably really happy, and that mannequin's like, oh no!
Yeah.
Oh man, yes.
Oh my gosh, the internet will never be the same since Playroom.
Now it'll never be the same again.
Exactly.
Honestly, I mean, they're probably gonna block this on Twitch forever. It's just.
Last year, Sony Japan showed the PlayStation Vita TV, which was a small device that lets you play PlayStation Vita games, and in the future, eventually do a PlayStation Now. They've announced now that they're going to be bringing it to North America. It's going to cost $99 for the standalone and $139 for a bundle that will come with a DualShock 3, 8GB memory card, an HDMI cable, and the Lego Movie video game.
Which is a great deal.
Which is a really good deal because the DualShock actually costs more than $40.
Yeah,
right.
$50 for a DualShock alone, and the 8GB memory card. We all know how Sony does memory cards. You know what 8GB memory card? $80, please.
This was kind of tied in at the same time they were announcing PlayStation Now, saying it's going to go into open beta at the end of the month, July, and they're adding some games to it, like the open beta, like Ultra Street Fighter 4 and stuff like that. But I got the press release right here in front of me from PlayStation Now, and it has pricing in there, and it says, for example, there will be shorter rental periods priced as low as $2.99, and most titles will be between $2.99 and $19.99.
Ooh.
So, but that doesn't address how that might be affected by Plus.
Well, no, it doesn't sound like it's going to be Plus at all. It sounds like it's going to be, they're treating it like Music Unlimited, kind of, where it's separate from Plus.
No, that's a terrible idea.
That's kind of how you have to do it, though.
But I wonder how long a $20 rental is.
I feel like we've talked about this before. I thought we were kind of all of the mind that you can't really have these things be tied together.
I was hoping for a Netflix experience, but this is cool too because I haven't watched anything on Netflix for a while, and it's just sitting there, so it'd be nice to have it kind of like a la carte,
I just remember there was a time where everyone was giving shit to a certain video game analyst who was saying that there's no way they would do a monthly fee for all these video games. But that guy's crazy. What's he talking about? He's always crazy.
I don't remember what you're talking about, Randy.
Oh, you don't? Oh, convenient. Anyways,
they can always add it into it.
And he was also saying that analyst was also saying they would never put brand new games on the service when
Street Fighter Ultra on it.
Well, that's for the beta test, but it's kind of
for the beta test.
They're not going to put PS4 games on there. It's just going to be like PS3 games. So after a while, there aren't going to be many recent games to even put on there.
I don't know. There's a lot more PS3s out there right now, and they aim to lose a lot more by giving away a Street Fighter Ultra on PlayStation Now right now than they do to give one that's only available on PlayStation 4. When you think of just sheer numbers.
Right. Another thing that was interesting about this, I'm not sure if we touched upon it, but they changed the name. It was the Vita TV. Now it's the PlayStation TV.
It's a more streamlined name.
It is succumbing to the fact that the Vita is dead.
Right.
Well, I guess they're trying to position this more as like just such a all-in-one entertainment device that they really thought it expanded past Vita, even though it's literally a Vita.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's on a TV,
But it doesn't really serve primarily the Vita functions. It more serves as a media hub now. So
Right.
I mean, having it branded as a Vita probably does more hurt than anything.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, I was just really surprised that they did that. I thought they were just like, it's called the Vita TV. We did it in Japan. And it's like, nope, PlayStation. Even though they announced the whole thing, the TV integration as well, I'm still really excited about that. That's a really cool feature for people.
That's interesting. But
don't yeah.
I wonder if they're going to certify that for TVs besides Sony's, because I know.
Oh hell no! Not a chance in hell.
They know their TV business is dying, and it's not. It may go away entirely.
But they can totally they can totally take over the smart TV market from Samsung. If they play their cards right.
You start packing a TV in with every PlayStation TV.
Right, exactly.
Every Vita TV has a small like
surprise.
Yeah.
Or realistically, you just
it comes with a Sony Ericsson phone.
Oh god!
Right.
More realistically, you can bundle up the controller with it too, and just like I'm just thinking about some guy shopping at Best Buy. It's like, why do I get a controller? It's like, well, sir, you get PlayStation Now included for
This
TV.
is your new TV remote.
It does the fist thing too.
Yes.
All right.
Ah, shucks, you'd be a fool not to get it, mister.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz, and he does a freeze frame in the air. Yeah.
Last week we saw the gameplay, or not the gameplay trailer, the cinematic trailer for Mortal Kombat 10. Sony unveiled the actual gameplay. It looks pretty good. I mean, the new engine looks really nice, and it did actually show it was sort of indicative of the cinematic trailer. I mean, in the environmental kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, a totally different look to it.
I really like the new characters, like that giant, I don't know, whatever kind of creature with the little kid on top. That was a really cool addition to Mortal Kombat.
The B-girl.
Yeah, B-girl. B-girl's pretty sweet. And then Scorpion and Sub-Zero, those guys are new characters as well, I take it.
I didn't. I mean, were those other guys recent characters as well? I don't know.
The other two people are new characters.
Okay.
And Ed Boon just revealed on Twitter tonight that it will have a block button.
Oh, the block button. Yeah, in the last game it was actually just back for block. They kind of took it back to basics, but they're bringing the block button back. Block button came in 3, right?
Yes.
Am I correct in that? I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Does anybody play Mortal Kombat 3?
No, Mortal Kombat 1 had a block button.
I thought 3 was the one. Oh no, 3 had the run button.
3 had the run button. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 had block button.
This one has the run button as well, doesn't it?
The
Mortal Kombat 10?
I think it's run and block. It does definitely have block.
Okay.
I've never played it. I don't know what it's got.
Looks really cool, and the fatalities look really nauseating to watch. Even for Mortal Kombat standards, it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
New release by Disney Interactive. They talked about powers, and this is kind of where the show really starts kind of taking a dip for a second. Don't get me wrong. I love the book. I love the comic book. I like the idea of the show. I just don't think this is the right place to show it right now when you have so many games that are going to be coming back to back that are going to be more indicative of what you want to show, like that brute force. I don't think Powers should necessarily need to be here.
Yeah, it was kind of it was there. It was odd and awkward a bit, but I think they knew that too because they were trying to rush it a bit. They're like, okay, please give him your respect. He's here to just pitch his TV show. And everyone was kind of cool about it. It was only one show too. It wasn't TV like last year or anything.
Right.
For Xbox, and it just made me more interested in just reading their comic book than even seeing the show.
Right. Well, it's free for PlayStation Plus subscribers, so that's a pretty cool thing. They're actually
really cool thing.
Make a even more incentive as if there wasn't already enough to have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank movie. They showed the trailer for it.
That looked nice.
Looked really nice.
Looked stupid.
Looks stupid.
Looked nice. Again, I don't think.
Are people forgetting Pixar exists?
They're trying to make their Pixar.
Okay, that's
Same with Disney. Disney's trying to.
They're right there. They're on par then.
Oh, okay. Then all right, beautiful. That's all it took. Last of Us Remastered.
No gameplay. Am I correct, or was there gameplay?
It's all cutscenes.
Yeah, I think it was all cutscenes.
It looked nice.
Yeah, I mean, even the cutscenes looked impressive.
They looked really, really impressive.
Well, I think they looked impressive in the original game.
They did, but I think
Yeah, it's going to be running in higher resolution, but I don't think it's a huge. I mean, if you've already played through and beat Last of Us and Left Behind, I don't see a reason to get remastered. Really,
I haven't because I couldn't be bothered with the controls. Was the biggest thing. So I hope they can do something with like the touch, pad fucking thing, whatever it's called, to like free up some things with the controls because I did not like that, and the frame rate was really wonky. I don't know if it was just my PS3 or what, but it was not. It was a subpar experience for my. But I really liked the story and everything. It just like could not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the game, even if you have played it, if you're enough a fan of the game, I think it's worth considering. Maybe not getting it at $60, but just to have the most pristine archival of that game. Yeah, the definitive version of The Last of Us remastered definitive version.
You're right.
Super Alpha, Ultra,
EX,
EX, Electric Boogaloo.
And then all right. I hope the chat isn't too upset, but fucking Kojima is the most confusing fucker in the world. I am not interested in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Let's put ashes on
Phantom Pain. It's not a Phantom Pain. The pain is me having to watch your goddamn trailer. There's nothing hidden or deceptive about this pain. It's coming from me. You have to watch the fucking mindfuck of a trailer.
Come on, I don't know.
No.
I'm still in love with Metal Gear Solid. Kojima's an asshole, but I still love his games.
He said he designed that quiet costume because he wanted people to cosplay it. So some guy made a cosplay costume out of it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Throw that back in his face.
Yeah. There you go, Kojima, you sick son of a bitch.
It looks. I don't know.
Son of a bitch. Go back to Playroom.
I'm excited for that game.
I'm still excited for it. I just don't fucking understand what's ever going on.
I
don't think he knows.
I don't think he knows. It's like he has a plate of spaghetti. He looks at it, it's like, that's the new Metal Gear story.
Yeah, he's like, I can make an analogy about that.
Yeah.
So it becomes a spaghetti western? I don't know.
GTA
reference in the trailer as well.
We've talked about this. I mean, this was inevitable. GTA 5 HD re-release for PS4.
Re-release.
Again, who has not played GTA 5?
Yeah, this one I'm even more just kind of like, I mean, on
and
the Last
GTA
of Us
5, GTA 5 looked good. I mean,
it
really
looked good for sometimes, and sometimes it looked really bad and played not that great either.
Yeah, but for a past gen game, it looked damn close to next gen.
See, this is what I said when the game was released. When we're talking about our discussion with it, it looks like a next gen game, like stuck in a box, and you really couldn't. It's like you can see the potential that it had, and it looked good, but it's just like it's not meant to be on this console.
But still, who has not played that game? I mean,
well, I have played that game, but I want to play it the way it's meant to be played. The way it's meant. The way the developers intended it to look like, so that's why I'm excited for it, and that's why I know a lot of people are going to be playing it.
Well, I think the big difference here, as far as like remasters, re-releases, HD re-envisionings or whatever,
right.
I don't think that one of the key things about Grand Theft Auto is its visuals. I think it's more of like the immersion in the world, and I don't think the visuals are with the gradual increase you'll get on PS4. I don't think that really lends to it much. I think The Last of Us is such like a visually striking game that getting more out of the visuals actually kind of has some weight. You guys agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds more immersion to the game, and I was pretty immersed when I played it, and
I think with the Lawrence, didn't you were referencing kind of in a way the frame rate, right? I mean, that would be one thing that would be really improved.
It was the frame rate. It was the loading times in between. I mean, like, the big part of the game is switching between characters, and it was always, and for me, it was like done, done, and then zoom back into your next character, and it was just like, wow, it was just like that. And it wasn't like how they showed in when they announced that game and showcased it. It was very seamless and very quick, and I did not get that experience when I was playing it. And a lot of people who did buy the game, they had a lot of issues when they bought the digital only copy. I'm not sure if they're still having those issues or not, but You know,
Right.
there's enough of a reason to buy
That
it. I'm
game was really pushing the consoles. If it wasn't
it
reading
was.
like
It really was.
the hard drive and the disk at the same time, it couldn't load the
Yeah.
data fast
And
enough.
I'm sure that they'll probably do some sort of, pass like some sort of rewards program for people who had the last one on consoles. I'm not sure if they'll do anything like that for PC. It's very unlikely, but I'm sure that they'll do like an upgrade program for like PS3 owners to PS4,
Right.
Xbox 360, to Xbox One, of course.
To answer the question in the chat, there's not an exact release date, but I think they pretty much said that it was going to be fall of 2014.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fall,
so I mean, fall is going to be
Oh.
a big remaster.
What if
And the person.
what if it sells just as much as the original release did?
I wouldn't
We're
even be
just
surprised.
Just like fuck everything. Why do we develop games?
What were you saying,
part,
Jeremy?
part of that same question is about the 360 save files. There's confusion there. It's not the 360 save files.
Yeah,
it's
thank
just
you.
your online GTA Online profile, which is actually saved on Social Club. So it doesn't matter until you're on. That can actually just be retransferred to PS4 or Xbox One. It's not
Yeah.
actually taking your single player save. They can't do
Yeah,
that.
they were
Which
making
is-
they were kind of presenting it as it was a feature of what PS4 did for the experience, but it's actually a feature of the server itself that Rockstar
Yeah.
put together. So I mean, they're taking a little bit of credit for something that isn't really theirs,
Yeah.
and they're presenting it as something else.
I still don't understand why they can't do the single player save files. I'm not sure why Rockstar can't upload that part of your experience onto Rockstar servers or whatever.
They also the single player also probably takes up a lot more space than the multiplayer profile.
It's probably a space issue. If anything, I don't think it's a coding issue. Because they're already doing that with the Xbox.
Oh no, it's not a coding issue. It would definitely be a space issue because they wouldn't want that type, clogging up their servers with that many save files of, the millions of people who play GTA 5. I mean,
Right.
no, they
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah, and they haven't anticipated that either. So it's just be a lot of They already had problems day one with the Rockstar service or whatever with their online gameplay. And it's like, yeah, it's just whatever is on there now. That's what you get. So yeah, still looking forward to it though. I'll start from the beginning again. I don't mind.
Batman Arkham City, Arkham
Arkham
Knight,
City.
Arkham Knight. Let's talk
Arkham
about that.
Batman doesn't need armor.
Batman he doesn't have guns. Of course, he needs armor.
He doesn't need it, but he has it.
Armor.
Pray to me. I'm sorry. They showed off a little bit of the driving. They showed off vehicle combat. They kind of showed the expanse of the world. It looks really cool.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, it
Gotham's
looks
like
beautiful.
multi-layered now.
It's
Yeah.
huge, yeah.
It has
Really,
kind of like
really
that, kind of like that kinetic feeling that we were talking about with like Sunset Overdrive. It has that like quick, like frantic, like moving from this to that to this to that, and it's like seems like from just looking at the trailer that they've kind of streamlined some of the little busy work that they gave you in the original two games.
And if you notice, he was able to go into buildings without any load in between, which is
Batman, of course,
really.
Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. He doesn't need loading
He
anymore.
has an armor suit. Why would he have to load?
Yeah, he's got a gadget for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that's so
Bat
really-
Ram.
Bat
That's called Bat Ram.
Batman. Yeah, it looks super cool. It's
That's where the secret sauce is.
Yeah.
it's great. I'm really happy that it's not cross-gen. It gives
Yeah.
people a reason to buy new consoles. Give people a reason to upgrade their computers.
And
It's a
obviously
reason
it
to move
benefits in every way because of that, in terms of design and graphics and everything.
Yeah.
Someone
Has a new villain.
in the chat asked if do we think that it'll be a situation where Batman's running around in X-ray mode the whole time, like in the previous
Yes.
games?
I
Yeah.
believe that you will still be doing X-ray easy mode throughout the whole entire game.
Yeah, I don't think
There's
X-ray
gonna be a
mode generally shows off too well in a demo,
Yeah.
being so slow and like methodical. So I just don't think we get to see that much of it. But every game we've played has always been heavily reliant on the X-ray mode.
It's a key part, one of the key parts of what makes Batman games, at least these ones. Yeah, I don't see why they would take it out at all.
Right.
But
And then Scarecrow is going to be the villain as well.
I totally thought that their conference was fucking up when that happened.
Oh, I did too. I think that was
'Cause
the
it-
intent, yeah.
I've already heard reports of like, I mean, they've already delayed it. That was one thing, and they already heard reports of like it was not running well, and I was just
Right.
like, holy shit, like things are just going south, you know. And then it was like, oh no, that's actually the glitch thing that happens when Scarecrow pops up in the games. It's like, oh yeah,
I feel they were kind of like playing around with that. They were
I
kind
think
of
so too.
tongue in cheek about it.
Yeah, I think so too. And Scarecrow looks fucking scary as shit. So
Yeah.
Was that
Don't call
John
him Scarecrow
Noble?
for nothing. What's that?
John Noble is the voice.
I don't know.
I don't like him.
I don't know.
I couldn't
Not
say.
sure.
I thought it was
I haven't
No,
watched
no,
Fringe in a while.
Nolan North is everyone now.
Yeah, it's probably
Right.
Nolan North or what's his face?
Or Jennifer Hale.
Jennifer Hale.
She's
You
Scarecrow.
can choose what kind of Scarecrow you want. You can have Nolan North or Jennifer Hale.
Saints
And
Row.
Scarecrow makes more morality decisions.
Oh god.
Everyone likes Femcrow. Femcrow is really popular. And then the last game that they showed off at the Sony press conference was Uncharted 4. It's Eve's End, leading me to think that it might be the last in the Uncharted series. It's
The last of
Old
Uncharted.
No,
Drake, old Drake.
They're throwing a twist at you. They're gonna kill Sully and not Drake.
They're totally gonna kill
Well, it's only in the last one. Then they Gun-
Killed him? What?
I mean, just judging by like the dialogue they have at the beginning, like he's all, "Come on, Sully, one more time."
Sully actually
Yeah,
dies,
I don't
right?
really want to go. He's all, "Come on, you're my friend." He's all, "All right, for you, I'll do anything." He's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Well, see, the thing is,
Yeah.
he's actually played by Harrison Ford, who wanted to be killed,
When did he die?
and
He killed me off in the first movie.
and this is finally his chance to, yeah.
But he's the smuggler.
They're all smugglers. They're all thieves,
Okay.
kid. We're all thieves, kid. All right, and that's it for the Sony press conference. So we are going to take another quick break. We've been going on here for about 42 minutes. So we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to smush together Ubisoft and EA in one tight, compressed segment, and we'll come back with community questions. So stick with us. When we come back, we'll have more of the 1985 FM podcast.
The Immaculate 29 wants to know where 2K football is.
Yeah,
Who gives a shit?
it's with The Last Guardian.
I was actually really disappointed with all that hubbubaloo about The Last Guardian. Not even a word. That they go, and one more thing, you know.
You honestly expected something?
I honestly expected something, especially with the hubbubaloo like that we've been dealing with for the past couple of days.
Nah, it was just clickbait.
You know, they should have just made people think it's gone, and then surprised us if, you know, when they're actually ready to show it.
What if they just go online right now, like Sony just hacks your computers? It's like, shh. It's like, now a Sony exclusive. It's like, how did you hack into my computers? It's a total invasion of my privacy. Like The Last Guardian. It's
We
like,
have something to show you.
you have something to show you. It's like, this would have been way more appropriate for Watch Dogs and way more cool. But why is The Last
It's
Guardian?
way less invasive. It's just so inappropriate, Sony.
Tomorrow
You're all mad about it at first, and it's like the last Guardian. Oh, that's awesome! It kind of makes up for the rest of it.
They're Conquer. I'm just reading all the Conquer reaction. It's absolutely hilarious. There's a GIF of the Microsoft Game Studios where it has the logo and says Microsoft Game Studios, and then it fades in. Actually, fuck you.
Exactly.
Is Godzilla still in theaters?
I think so.
I gotta see that. Probably watch it tomorrow.
You-
I don't have much time. So time, man.
All right, we ready to get back in?
Make sure you're still promoting because we're still setting records here.
Yeah, for us, this is pretty good. And we're getting people to actually press the follow button.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't know we actually had a follow button.
Yeah, I
Judging by the way it was not getting pushed.
think it disappeared along with the fucking E3 autofill for playing. That shit was not there. I tried like 18 times.
Did you ever get a response about the shout engine thing?
No, I didn't. I did not get a response.
And it's still working, right?
Yeah, still working.
All right, we're gonna freeload it then.
Yeah, they want to give us free hosting, then by all means.
Exactly.
So, let's go. All right, and really quickly to the people in the chat.
Remind them about the giveaway.
Yeah.
We didn't show.
Again, if you're just tuning in to the video show, first of all, thank you for showing up. We are doing a small giveaway. We didn't get a lot of swag today, but we have one Ori the Blind Forest t-shirt, indie game, Xbox One. We're giving it away for anyone who's asking questions. We're going to pick someone at random at the end of the show. So ask your question, and if you are picked, leave us your address. We'll send you this t-shirt, and it can be yours. We're getting ready to start the next part of the show. We're going to be talking about EA and Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Man.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Well, we'll quickly go through those.
Yeah, we're gonna burn through these ones.
They showed the games the end.
Yeah, we're talking about some shit. All right, let's see where do we got this. What do you want to start with, EA or Ubisoft, guys?
EA was
EA.
EA? EA it is. The EA briefing. We're talking EA. What did EA show us today? Lawrence, start us off, sir.
Motherfucking Star Wars Battlefront 3, dog.
Oh my God!
It was fucking awesome. But not what they showed, because that was just like 20 seconds, right?
They showed some very
They showed a lot
alpha
of-
footage. Like, we took a bunch of pictures of real Star Wars stuff, and
Yeah.
we made a speeder bike move.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It looked
But-
really
and-
To
good.
be fair, it
didn't
was
stop
the prettiest
me.
speeder bike ever.
It
Yeah,
was.
man.
It
It
didn't
was.
stop me from shitting my pants. It looked fucking amazing.
It was really good.
I am excited. Jeremy, you know something about Star Wars. What did you think about it?
It looked good. It looked really good. I hope they give them the time they need to make it not crash.
Yeah. But
And-
give them time to go to location, so better not fucking crash.
Yeah, I mean they're going to locations the actual Episode 7's not going to. So
Right.
no, it looks good. I mean there wasn't too much gameplay in there. There was a little bit of Hoth and a little bit of Endor. But we'll see more next year before it comes out.
Some would
What's-
say that Battlefront is a roll of the dice. Fucking A!
What's really cool about,
I'm leaving this
Yeah.
podcast.
yeah, it's hard to come back from that.
Come back! What?
More to-
But it's cool that they seem like they're really excited, to make the game. There's very few franchises in the world where people are that enthusiastic about making a game. Not coming from like Disney franchises or like just like movie tie-ins. It's like they want to make Battlefront 3. Like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they pull some strings just to go to locations, not because they needed them, just because they wanted to go. Like I'm
Yeah, right.
damn sure it's like yeah, we totally need to take pictures for.
And even if they didn't want to make the game, the fact of the matter, you take the most popular gameplay genre and possibly one of the most popular franchises, especially right now, they'd be stupid not to make this game.
Yeah, they are stoked, and it's good to have that enthusiasm in a developer. And DICE makes some really good games that sometimes work, but they're really good when they do work.
When they do work, they're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
They're digging in the snow instead of fixing Battlefield 4.
Well, isn't Battlefield 4 is working right now, right? Because they weren't going to do anything until they were finished with Battlefield 4. So I'm assuming that means Battlefield 4 is perfect.
Right. I
That's
guess you're right. Yeah.
That's as good as get.
Lawrence has been saying that with every purchase of Battlefront, you do get a beta into a Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4 again.
Beta the redo, the remastered beta. 2015, the remastered beta of Battlefield 4.
This time in 1080.
Yeah, this time in 1080, upgraded resolutions, with working multiplayer maps. Yes.
All right, I'm excited.
Dragon Age Inquisition was also shown at the EA conference. They showed some footage and a live cello performance.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they showed some of the
Basil?
strategic mode, I guess.
Yeah, they brought back the strategic mode from the original game, which was kind of it was a
Good.
disappointment seeing it taken away from the second one, where it became more action based. I think that's a good thing. I think that's what that game did. That one thing really well. They were like kind of the pinnacle of that early BioWare design.
Yeah, I agree.
It was too bad that they moved
But
away.
still
from
very
that.
actiony looking if you choose to play that way.
And then they showed some early concept designs for Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect. It was kind of just more like we're making a new Mass Effect.
Yeah, there wasn't very much there.
I don't know what it is with EA, but this was kind of a trend with Battlefront, Mass Effect, and some of the other games we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, Mirror's Edge. They did that too.
Really early stuff
Yeah.
that they're showing us. So just like wireframe shit and all that.
Look how good the wireframe looks.
They get the hype train rolling early.
Yeah. We've learned anything.
We have
It's good
nothing else to
let
show,
people-
guys.
Yeah.
This is
They have
it.
nothing to show when they already booked their appointment, so they gotta do something.
They should have just showed Watch Dogs for Mass
Whoa.
Effect.
Or spend, 10 minutes on The Sims 4.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, The Sims 4. Let's actually go to Sims
Just
4.
have like this mock
minutes.
family come in, like, hey kids, gather around, let's play.
There was a
Sims."
time when people absolutely freaking adored The Sims. Is that still a thing?
I think.
It has its own fandom.
Right.
You know.
Like that are outside of like our spectrum of
Single moms.
enthusiasm. Single moms, huh?
This is the single moms that Lawrence loves so much.
Man.
That's the only reason he plays the game is to hook up.
Single
If
moms.
you're watching this and you are a single mom or have single moms, tell them I said what's up.
Or you know someone who has a single mom.
Tell them I said what's
If
up.
your mom is single, give her my number.
But if she's dating anyone, don't even talk to me because she doesn't like The Sims 4.
She doesn't. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do is just play Sims 4 for mom.
UFC, the next UFC is going to feature Bruce Lee. That's a big deal.
That's
I think since the
pre-ordered.
beginning of UFC, everyone said, "Oh, what if Bruce Lee was in there? Would he win?" And I think that's kind of like the thing that happens. Like, if Bruce
I don't
Lee's
even
there-
play the game, and I've asked that question.
Exactly. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna pay to sell this game. We're gonna put Bruce Lee in there. So there you go. I don't know what to really say to that.
It's all
NHL
over his
15.
grave.
NHL 15 happened. It's the next year of hockey games. Do you like hockey? Then you're probably gonna like NHL.
If you like
15.
hockey, you're probably at the hockey game and not the E3 conference watching this.
If you like hockey, you're probably playing hockey, and you probably don't care about NHL 15. New Criterion game to debut. Criterion game is an all-terrain, tons of different vehicle types, all first-person point of view.
Yeah, they got
Great.
ATVs and jet skis and helicopters and UFOs. I don't know.
PGA Tour. No
Yeah.
more Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is gone.
Is that a thing now? Or did it
That
just,
is
like,
a thing. That is a thing. Tiger Woods has been ripped from the PGA Tour thing. They don't want his name on there anymore. They don't want to pay for him.
Is that a choice?
Oh
No.
no, yeah, that was very much something they backed away
yeah.
from.
And the guy, just to make the contrast even more pronounced, the character they showed playing golf was white.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah.
right.
They're like they were basically saying that, you know what, golf is white again. You can
Golf is white
Come
again.
Golf is
Now better on the white PS4.
Were they showing like
Fire comes
freaking-
the white PS4 exactly.
And for some reason, I guess it's fun to play golf while Pearl Harbor is happening. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I love it because there's our bullet points here. It's high realism, And then I look at the snapshots, and it's him playing on a beach with a fucking a battleship crashing into the river. I'm like, what do we classify as high realism now?
It's a little yin, a little yang. It's you know.
Right. Yeah,
A
good.
little bit of everything.
Madden 15, Dawngate MOBA.
I am pretty excited about that.
Really? Why? Well, you're a big MOBA fan, so why Dawngate?
Well, I'm a big Dota fan. I'm not really a big MOBA fan when it comes to other MOBA games because they don't really do it that well, where they try to, be what they're not, which is League of Legends or Dota. But this one's kind of cool because they're tailoring the gameplay to specific classes rather than like having you try to find out yourself. So it's like, hey, these are healer classes, and this is what you do. And if you're a healer class, you don't gain anything extra from like last hitting or anything like that else, but you do get extra gold for like healing people. And if you're like a tank, these are tank heroes, and they get extra bonuses for being tanky. And it forces the players into playing the specific roles instead of finding that for himself, and allows people who are.
Are you saying it has a tutorial that works?
Well, it's more than just having a tutorial that works. It caters to gameplay so people who are getting into it can understand what that character is and what it does, rather than like have it like, oh, by the way, he's a tank guy. It's like, how am I supposed to know that? It's just like, oh, well, you play the game for 400 hours and you'll find out. It's very clear in the beginning, like, this guy is tanky and this is what he does, and these specific bonuses are granted to you if you do your job right. So it doesn't seem, and what's cool about it, as opposed to like something like Heroes of the Storm, where that was a little bit more on the easier side. It doesn't seem like it's like sacrificing difficulty. It's just streamlining the way that you approach a MOBA, and they're very happy to not really think about like, oh, what makes our game different. It's just what makes our game.
But I
more
thought
like
you were against things that are more accessible. Aren't you in the 1% of gamers?
I'm in the 1% of gamers who are playing the hardest MOBA game that's out there.
Elitist.
But it looks really exciting, so I downloaded that. I'm looking forward to playing it pretty soon.
FIFA 15 was a thing that happened. Mirror's Edge, you people wanted it.
Yeah, and they
played it.
getting
It's
it
back. It's coming.
It's still coming. Yeah.
They showed some early concept footage, some previs levels and gameplay, and talked about the art direction a little bit. No gameplay, but it's happening. So if you wanted that game, which I see no reason why you wouldn't, the game was great.
Well, gameplay was shown. I think it was just like it was untextured environments and things like that mostly. But yeah, she was jumping off walls and running into people and doing a little hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, and
if she wasn't, I'd be worried.
Her combat, they actually improved, they said, because they made it so it's just quick and powerful, and not like you're just awkwardly like standing there and like, let me do this punching animation. Just like, I'm going to hit you once and I'm going to get out of here, and if you're down, you're down. I'm not trying to kill you or shoot you or anything. They
talked to parkour experts about how to fight.
Parkour.
That's that.
You want to see that video? You know what I'm talking about?
They talked to parkour experts about how to fight?
Yeah.
Shouldn't they talk to fighters?
Sure, they talk to developers of video games.
Whatever. Battlefield Hardline. We talked about that earlier. It's still happening. Let's move on to Ubisoft, whatever you call it. Let's see. Brendan, start us off.
Let's see. We got Far Cry. First 5 minutes of that game kind of walked you through the introduction to how you're getting dropped off. A little bit of footage in this.
Talk about the monkey.
Bus with the monkey. High-def monkeys in.
High-def monkey. He got slapped in the head because he's being a monkey.
And he looked royally pissed off that he just got slapped.
Which is something you can only do in the next game.
Please!
You can only really animate a pissed off monkey.
Can you do that again?
There's a
ordered
monkey on the bus.
No, I've got it for my ringtone.
And they featured the villain very much so.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like the villain. It's cool.
In some cases, they looked like they were trying to recreate a Voss character.
Yes.
Yeah, it totally is very apparent that they're doing that.
If you played Far Cry 3, I mean, that was one of the things that they were given a lot of praise for, making that character was very had a very threatening aura to him.
Right.
So I think they're really
But
interesting to do
he
that.
doesn't have a mohawk this time. He has this pink like undercut thing.
Yeah.
He's got, like,
Nighthawk. A
So
Skrillex.
letting them they're letting people know that they know LA and New York exist. Like they're gonna appreciate the undercut. They realize it's the most popular haircut. They're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good to have like these villains that are in like open. I mean, like most open world games, you kind of like get lost in like, what's the story again? Like, why am I doing this for? And to have like a a charismatic eccentric villain in it, overlaying it just makes a drive for going and exploring and doing like the actual story missions much more rewarding.
The idea that he could pop in at any time in a helicopter, just show up and say hi.
And just take a selfie with you and kill the guy next to you, just
right.
Like, well, this guy's some next
This
level
game's,
shit.
this game's for real.
The next gen is here.
Yeah.
Properly
It's got enough charisma.
Yeah, it's got way more charisma, so it'll get higher scores than.
I feel like there's 3 things I've been hearing Conrad say all day, and it's been Just Dance 2015.
Yes.
He won't stop
Yeah.
talking about it. So,
Oh,
Jeremy, do
man.
yourself a favor. Just get it out of your system. Say what you need to say about Just Dance 15, your favorite game of E3 2014.
He's just oozing of enthusiasm.
No, I mean they spent so much time on it. I mean, I guess it sells a lot of copies, but most people watching that don't care.
Oh my god, the whole dance sequence they did just.
Oh, the dance sequences.
You could host a flash dance with Just Dance 2015.
I don't understand how the mobile app thing works, because that's a whole separate game. What are they looking at? Because they're dancing with the phone and just like they're like actually dancing. around.
Accelerometers, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know,
what?
I'm not a scientist.
How do they know? Like, am I supposed to go left or right, or am I supposed to do?
You
Like,
gotta
a
sign
moonwalk?
into Uplay on your phone, and then you play the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
So you need 2 phones. You need a phone that shows what command you're supposed to, dance to, and then your phone to actually dance.
Oh, it's a true next-gen game because it has 2 screens.
Yeah, it's
I
an
don't know.
asynchronous dance game.
Just another reason to get single moms on the PS4 and Xbox One, man. I mean,
If they can get
any
Sims
reason
4 on
why.
there, you have the single mom system.
Yeah, I don't see a problem, man.
It's
Um,
it's right up your alley.
Some more footage of The Division, a trailer. There was lots of crying, screaming, guys with fire.
It was shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
They
really
had
good.
flamethrowers.
All pre-rendered, which is surprising considering the game when they're all about like showing off their Snowdrop engine.
Oh, you know the Division's gonna drop in visual
All the
quality.
It's gonna snow drop in frame rate.
Uh,
The crew trailer showcases cross-country driving and missions. It releases November 11th. Put it
So
on your
pumped for
calendars,
this.
motherfuckers.
So-
it's time for a race car game.
Does
so
anyone
this,
care?
this was whoa, wait a minute now. This was
Okay.
one of the things they touted at when they showed this game. The fact that they have missions in the game where you could drive from like Miami to LA or something like that, and take 2 hours doing it.
I totally heard that the wrong way
I know it's-
initially.
Not realistic, but
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I totally heard that the wrong way the first time because I think he said like a 2-hour campaign, and it's like the end of like go back. It's like no, you drive 2 hours to get from here, point A to point B.
It's kind of like the Penn and Teller game Desert Bus, where you just kind of just drive like you're actually a bus driver and you're going in real time across the desert. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. I'm glad that we're getting back into that untapped well of
you guys
potential.
clearly don't have Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah, you were number 2. Let me borrow that.
I feel like there is definitely a lot of untapped potential with road trip games. So I think we need to really start kind of finding more games like The Crew that tap into wasting time.
Right, because you don't have anything better than do. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, definitely 2 hours. I can think of anything. I would rather freaking drive from Florida to L.A. Good stuff. Assassin's Creed Unity CG trailer, some gameplay footage of ACU Now, shows additional AC mechanics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the game still looks awesome.
So cover.
We're not going to talk about We're not going to talk about Shape Up. That happened. Valiant Hearts 2D game based on the World War I using the Ubi Art Engine. The Ubi Art Engine, very beautiful.
I seriously don't know if you play as a dog or not. It wasn't clear in the
No, but
trailer.
there's like, what was it, like 4 people or something, like 4 characters or 4 brothers or
Yeah,
something
but
like
are
that.
they just the story backdrop for the dogs? You know,
It could be like interlacing storylines or something
tragedy.
like that.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's the general vibe is sad. So
Sad. Yeah, very sad.
So
it's a
I-
game with sad.
They're really milking that engine, and I love it. You know, it's a really beautiful engine, and I want to see more people make cool 2D games out of it.
It really isn't. It's
just not
spurring
sad
on-
ones.
Well, wait a minute. All the other ones were happy though.
Let's talk about the game that probably stole the show as far as Ubisoft, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Patriots
Oh.
is dead.
So cool.
Rainbow Six Siege is the new one.
Yeah, this thing looked fantastic.
And it was Rainbow Six. You know. 'cause
yeah, it was
you
like
did the
true
planning.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
It was very much to the spirit of the original game, very tactical. There was planning involved, but it happened instead of you having these AI-controlled characters where you were trying to map out these tactics. You had 6 people who talked to each other very naturally.
Again,
naturally
perfect team setup.
plot.
They were
Yeah.
really polite to each other as well.
Hey guys,
Oh, I
just
lost
wait,
a
just wait.
hostage. Oh, it's no big deal. No,
Oh, don't worry about it, man.
dude.
Don't worry about it. No,
Yeah.
they should just
Oh,
one of these
you're
times-
still a
one of
great
these-
person on the inside.
Exactly. One of these times they need to just go with it, just how it really is. They get a kid, a racist, being sexually assaulted over a microphone, one guy who's stoned, actually 2 guys who are stoned, and one guy who's just
Not talking at all.
One guy's not talking.
Why aren't you talking to us?
They can get that team, then they will better represent the online space.
I hope they do something like that. That'd be great.
That would be great.
But I don't know. The game, it looks really cool, and it made me think like Battlefield Hard What? Like I totally forgot about that game. It's kind of the same kind of style, sort of. You know.
Well,
not
the
heist,
developers were talking
No.
a little bit about it, and they pretty much said that like the main point, the thing they're trying to drive home is that you start off not necessarily trying to necessarily find the tactics to get through, but you're trying to break down their defenses. You observe their
Yeah.
defenses, find it as, and they make it very easy for you to like go through walls and find ways to flank them, break down the defenses, and play this kind of like cat and mouse game with the hostage and everything. I'm sure there's probably other game modes, but the way they show it in the demo is fantastic.
And everything, they were also showing how, everything is destructible. When you're
Right.
shooting, it's breaking things. Like,
Yeah.
if you have people shooting at you, it's going to take out the wall. And you can
Yeah.
shoot back through that wall when it's broken. You can... It's another mechanic in the game that makes it...
They were tearing that house
More
up,
expensive.
dude. They were tearing that fucking house up.
They were, yeah.
I hope you had insurance. I hope that lady had all the insurance.
Does
in the
insurance even
world.
cover that?
Hostage.
I don't even
insurance.
know.
I don't know if insurance costed.
Brink's home
covers it.
security is gone off the wall.
Yeah, right.
They just went completely bonkers. It's just like, we're just gonna shoot up your house, but we'll get you out of there alive. You'll probably get shot a little bit in the
Well,
process.
we'll get one of you out alive, but
Yeah, there was no one else in the house.
All right. Well,
She was a single mom.
She's too busy playing Sims 4. She wasn't paying attention. Let them get inside and kidnap her. In the interest of time, we're going to stop this section. If you wanted to talk more about Rainbow Six Siege, feel free to ask in the questions section of the last part of the 1985 FM podcast, which will be coming up as soon as we return very shortly. Stick with us. All right. Is someone collecting all of them questions?
I'm collecting a bit of them. I don't know if I missed some. We'll go back up. We got racist people on the podcast. That's awesome.
Great.
That's how we know we're doing well.
Yeah, that's how you know you're getting up in numbers when you get races. Yeah, well, let's go through some of the questions you think are worth considering, and let's pick like 3 or 4 of them.
I'm putting them in the 85 doc in the very top, and you can sort. I'll pick some of them, and you can sort through those. Just fun to read them.
Mr. Codeman, of course, we got to read something for Mr. Codeman.
Yeah. there's a lot of stuff.
I think we just talked about that question, so I'm going to get rid of it.
It's not just
We
comments.
talked
Okay.
about
What's that?
we talked about Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Okay. Well, who won
Didn't we?
E3? That's going to be a way too long of a discussion, but I'll put it in here because
Yeah,
I
we
don't
need
think
to-
there's an
we need-
answer.
Oh well, I think we can have the discussion as what we have so far.
We can say who won day one.
Oh right, day zero, whatever. But E3 ain't over yet.
All right, these are good questions. All right,
Yeah.
so this one I don't want to answer because I'm personally not terribly concerned, nor do I have the knowledge to really speak on it.
Madden
Jeff-
owns that.
What was your favorite? Okay, so all right, this is a pretty good. This is pretty.
You're putting in too many questions, man.
They're
Yeah.
broad questions that we can play around with.
Okay.
All right, so we'll answer this one too. We'll do that one kind of quick. All right, so Mr. Code, you got Codeman's question twice. All right.
Favorite consoles now? It's kind of like not about anything, but I'll put it in here. Let's see.
No, I mean that's not about really E3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does give us a chance to bash the Wii U.
Again, yes, of course. Why wouldn't we put it? Here he goes. Oh, there you go.
All right, so what kind of?
It's expected of us. We have to please our fans.
Well, they don't even know what's
I think
expected
you're-
because a lot of people are
Nathan,
new.
your new sign-off needs to be just the Wii U still sucks.
Just every day. Just
Good
yeah.
night.
Good night. Wii U still sucks. Play Mario Kart whenever I can, but it still sucks.
Best E3 trailer so far. It's really short discussion. I'm pretty sure we put that in there.
We're all gonna pick the same one.
Which one is that?
No Man's Sky.
Oh no, actually not.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily would.
I don't think they had the best trailer. I think
I think they have a-
probably.
Well, save it for the
Potential.
discussion. So save
Alright.
it. All right.
All right, so
You're
let's
all
keep it. These are unless there's a lot of other stuff we need to comb.
There's a
through.
lot of questions. Just make sure you tell them like, hey, we're very
All
thankful.
right, so we'll
Best.
bring in the rest and we'll get rid of redundancies.
Yeah. Thank the fans for the comebacks.
So is that everything?
They're just gonna keep on coming. So we gotta stop it.
Well, I mean, unless you see something that's different from what we kind of have going on here, because I have a lot of
SS4.
questions that kind of go around the same line, so I can get rid of a few of these.
they're getting
question.
they're getting off topic. They're not.
All right, yeah, just keep it on these then. All right, let's see here. So, let's get rid of this one because we have
No, that's a good
this
one.
But we have this one
Oh.
right here. I mean, that kind of falls in line with that,
What?
don't you think?
We'll bunch them
I think
together.
I think we could bundle them together.
All right, put them together then.
What are we gonna price the bundle at though?
$139.99, and it comes with an 8 gig memory card.
Okay.
That one. We'll go down there. Let's bring this one for Mr.
Oh, we can take out the favorite console thing.
Actually, you know what? I'm going. Oh wait, no, we got that. We're good.
You want to leave that in there?
What's up?
Favorite
Yeah,
console?
we don't need that. We don't need that right now.
Yeah, we can.
Not really important.
Dash you out.
All right, so let's get rid of this one because we have the same one up there. All right.
Alright, cool.
Everything look good? These 4 questions.
Yeah, let's go into it.
All right, let's do this. All right, and a second. All right, and it's Q&A time. Oh, look at that. That doesn't look good.
Yeah. I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh no, you don't want to know what I'm looking at. It's ugly. Ugly. 1 second. I just need to add one thing in here to make the thing make some sense. There we go. Beautiful. All right. All right, we're back for the final part of the 1985 FM podcast, and we're going to be taking your questions. We picked a few. There was a lot of questions. Thank you, everyone, for asking. We're going to take some very E3-centric questions, since that's kind of what we've been going through here the whole day, and we're going to start off with a couple questions. Actually, no, we're going to start off with this question right here, and this is from Tufe L9191. What moment of the day's conferences impressed you the most, or had you anticipate the most? Or what, I suppose. Lawrence, you want to start off?
The biggest thing that's kind of like really made me anticipate the most, it was already No Man's Sky, but I had no idea that was coming out anymore because of the whole flooding thing. So I think it's probably between that and actually Assassin's Creed Unity. And I'm not even a big Assassin's Creed fan. I'm actually kind of very tired of the franchise, but they are adding enough of gameplay, like spice to it to make me actually interested in the series again. And the 4-player co-op is a really cool inclusion.
Nice. O'Connell?
I'd say there were a lot of high points to everything we saw today, so it's hard for me to pinpoint something in particular. As somebody who's looking into getting like an Xbox when I don't have one, games like Sunset Overdrive and their trailer kind of really had me looking at that maybe this is something I should drop some money on. Other than that, continuing franchises like Assassin's Creed, Forza, Call of Duty even, which I haven't liked Call of Duty in a couple of years, so going back to some of those, it's going to be an interesting year and beyond.
Very nice. Yeah. Jeremy Conrad.
I was probably anticipating the Halo announcements the most, and it was satisfying, but what impressed me the most was Rainbow Six.
Very nice.
So glad to see that back, and especially with all the planning like you can do in the old Rainbow Six, and I'm real excited about that.
Beautiful. Nathan?
Well, most impressive, I think I have to give it to Sunset Overdrive, just in terms of just something that really made me like actually want a game like right now, or maybe even yesterday.
Right.
As far as what I'm trying to read the question right, is if he's asking what I anticipated going into it beforehand, the most, or probably Uncharted 4, like a lot of people.
Right.
And that didn't show a lot, but at least we know it's there and it has a pulse. So that's happening, and yeah, I'd have to probably give it to just in terms of gameplay and a game that maybe won it the most, probably Sunset.
Beautiful. As far as what I anticipated the most, I anticipated Battlefront the most, but I don't think we really got enough to really validate that anticipation. It's just more of like a kind of promise on the stuff to come. As far as actually what impressed me during the show, I think it's kind of a cop-out because there's a lot of things that impressed me. I'm really not sure where to go right now. I would say I was surprisingly very impressed by Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I liked that way more than I expected. I was very happy to see Rainbow Six come back in its like most true form and do it in like such a fashion. And No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was it has a lot of potential of being something that I think the industry needs.
Yeah. For me, almost it is kind of like a split between No Man's Sky and Sunset. That was a really good trailer.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of us really anticipated any Last Guardian stuff, considering all like the crazy things that's been going on.
We did anticipate it, but when it didn't happen, it wasn't like, oh, how could they not show Last Guardian?
True. Yeah, that is very true.
We had talked about a lot of this last week, like, maybe it is going to happen with all this news that was going on.
Yeah, at least it's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing, though. Next question from Mr. Codeman93, a regular question asker on the show. Should we expect to hear more about Sony's other first-party titles at Gamescom? Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
always save something for Gamescom.
Gamescom is in many ways, I think, the new E3.
It's the European E3, and yeah, a lot of like Quantum on the Xbox side, Quantum Break will be there, and so Sony, yeah, there'll be something from Sony at
The
Gamescom.
Last Guardian.
Nah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah. No, I think
It'd be hilarious if like tomorrow the show floor opens and there's Last Guardian on the in the PlayStation
Just
booth.
in
just
the floor.
no
yeah.
fanfare, just sitting there in the corner of the booth somewhere.
Right.
You can walk in and
It's
it's just
playable.
you walk in and it's just quiet and it's just like, why is it so quiet? And it's like they're all just looking at this one screen and just like
Just everybody's just like gaping. Oh.
Right. But yeah, I think we'll definitely hear a lot more about first party stuff at Gamescom.
yeah.
Let's see. Next question. JetBlue723 asks, "What has been your favorite conference from today?"
Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft was just non-stop games. There was no pause. There was no slow part. There was no Ricky Ricardo coming out and talking and boring people to death. And I mean, there was, it was just games. There
Right.
was no stupid dancing. There was no stupid fitness thing. There was, no, Sims. I mean, it was probably the best one.
It
I
was
agree with that.
Yeah, it was very much to the point. I mean, there wasn't any hardware news. It was just very much they got that stuff out of the way ahead of time, and it was just about their titles, and it made for a better show, in my opinion. I agree with you. Guys, anyone else?
I feel like Sony, in my opinion, did better, but I did really like how Microsoft did their press conference, just having all that stuff in the beginning. These are the games coming out in 2014. These are games coming out in 2015. It's very simple to follow. It wasn't like this one's coming out in 2014, this one's coming out in 2015, this one's maybe coming out this fall. It's not very convoluted. It was a lot more organized for a Microsoft conference, but I was more excited about what was announced at the Sony conference as opposed to the Microsoft conference. Even if it was things that weren't even exclusive to PS4, like GTA 5 coming to PS4. Even though it's coming out just for PS4, it's coming out for all consoles. That was there. Metal Gear Solid was there. Even though it's not PS4 exclusive, it was still something that I was more interested in.
Right.
I feel the same as Lawrence. I think if we were judging, okay, what was the best conference versus what's my favorite, and he asked what my favorite is, and I'd answer the same. I think Sony just had games that overall appealed more to me. There's a couple of really bright spots in Microsoft's conference as well, but just there's more of them in Sony's. But in terms of how they were executed, if we were judging what was the best conference, well, no doubt, hands down, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Just they did it, in terms of how they organized it. Even on the technical level, Sony had so many technical issues.
Oh yeah,
with
that
their-
audio guy at Sony was so fired.
Yeah.
All right. So next question is from OC Tillery.
Octillery.
Octillery. What did you think of Halo 5 Guardians trailer and the Master Chief Collection?
That is Jeremy's question.
That is so Jeremy's question.
I'm real excited about both of those. Definitely getting both.
Excellent.
Yeah, all
Well,
right.
no, I mean it's like the Master Chief Collection was actually surpassed what I expected, because in the Master Chief Collection I thought it would be like multiple discs, very expensive, not a unified interface, and having them all on one interface, that's what impressed me. It's like, okay, can they actually put some work into this? It's like it's a
And
game.
everything's unlocked.
Yeah, it's not just tossing the old games on a disc. This is actually a thought through true collection, like archival type thing. So
And And like you were saying earlier, it's not like $120. So for someone for me who hasn't played every Halo game, it is really enticing to pick up the collection. It's an easy decision to make, being $60.
Right.
I've only played 2 of the Halo games, and the Microsoft's making a compelling case with games like this, the compilation and everything, to finally go back and play like 3 and 4, which I had missed, and see how the story plays out. Which I was at least somewhat invested in the story, having played the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
and having that, and as far as the Guardians trailer, well, I mean, it's a CG trailer. I mean, I'd love it if it was in engine or something, but it clearly wasn't. And it's tough to love a CG trailer unless something's really awesome about it. It really didn't tell us much.
These days, I feel like the argument's the same. I haven't heard this in a long time, or any time else besides now. It's just like people are just kind of done with CG trailers. It's just like everyone's saying, like, okay, we get it, we know the gimmick now. You have to be really invested in that franchise to care about a CG trailer these days. It feels like it's like if it was like for me, I don't know why they make a CG trailer for it. Earthbound is my favorite game of all time. If they made like a new Earthbound trailer and it's all CG for a fucking reason, I'll be stoked, even though there's no gameplay, because I love that series. But for people who are just like trying to convince people to come into the series, it doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah. And final question of the night. XX Moret35XX asks, who won E3?
E3's not over.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I mean, well, it's not over in the fact that we haven't seen anything from Nintendo, and I think a lot can weigh on what we actually get a chance to really play on the floor. I mean, this Morpheus stuff that we didn't even talk about with Sony.
Yeah.
Actually getting down and playing like Eve Valkyrie and if they're demoing anything else, I think it's just Eve Valkyrie. But I mean, getting actually down and playing the exclusive stuff, I think that's really important to say, like, who actually won. It's cool we can talk about the mind share, who won the hearts and minds of people, but when you actually, I think we should be more interested in how these games actually play, and that would actually, in the end.
If you'd ask, who made the greatest comeback or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft.
Oh, definitely.
Came back from the dead with this conference. Yeah, they really did. I mean, it's probably owed to Phil Spencer and the new management and everything, but they really did have that message hammered in there. Like this is what we're all about, and they had like games that are like fan service, and like I said, it's like they had all their 2014 games, and after that 2015 games, well organized, one after the other, and it went off without a hitch. So it's absolutely what everybody was wanting from the very beginning with the Xbox One, and they just showed it. They're just like, here it is. This is what this is really about, and we're gonna get back on track.
It's crazy, man, because had they not made those horrible decisions to be this synergizing media device and push that stuff so heavy, they might not even have been in this situation, and I mean they might not even have gave PlayStation so much leg room to take the advantage.
It's a little bit off topic, but I wonder if they would have been in a better situation to not backtrack, because I feel like them backtracking kind of caused them a bit of admitting defeat and just and then something else.
But if they hadn't done that, wouldn't that be?
Yeah,
worse?
but if they would have,
that's the question. That's the great question. Is I wonder what would they do if they haven't done that? Because now it seems like Sony uses every opportunity to mention that they did not backtrack.
Yeah, but I mean, and you can't blame them for doing that, because that is the one thing they really have aside from the fact that they didn't change,
right,
to really show up. But at the end of the day. I don't know what
it took Microsoft longer to arrive at that conclusion, but as long as they're there now, then that's all that matters.
It doesn't matter.
I guess the point I was going to make is that if we were to follow that down, the thought process, we would say that we would be kind of going with the idea that perception is more important than the reality. And the perception, the reality of it is that they changed and they are better for it. Right. I think that outweighs the perception that they would have.
Why hold a grudge?
Yeah.
Right.
In the end,
everyone's
better for it.
Yeah. I mean, and this is something that people are talking about now, of the whole Kinect not being included in the system anymore. It's people are now upset about that and just what do you want?
Well, I mean, that's a crazy thing. It is still included if you choose so.
Yeah.
And it's funny to think that Ubisoft made a more compelling case for Kinect.
It's crazy. When me and Jeremy were watching, we were at the Xbox conference. The last picture they showed of the Xbox was literally just the controller and the Xbox, no Kinect. And I go to Jeremy, I'm like, it's pretty telling of what the situation they're in right now. And he laughs about it. But it is. It's very true that they are in a situation right now where they pretty much are staying completely away from Kinect. Even if they see benefits in it, they will not mention it just to avoid the connection.
And you know what? Besides, they didn't show anything Kinect except for the harmonic stuff, and there was an indie game.
Yeah.
That you Kinect, where you stand. It's actually kind of cool. It's like Kinect looks at you, and your body kind of makes the walkway for the characters in the platformer.
Oh, right.
Turns your silhouette into the platforms.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was it. Other than that, there's nothing Kinect there.
Yeah, and I think it was a good idea because I think it paid off. We didn't get slogged through that Kinect thing. A bunch of games that is focused as this is on the enthusiast press. There's not really a place for Kinect right now. No one wants to see that. They want to see the games. They want to see the reasons why hardcore gamers are going to purchase this system.
They're going to see a reason once there is a good indie game that utilizes it, and there hasn't been. I mean, there's that one you're talking about, Jeremy, but once that comes out and if people are really interested in it, then it's going to make a case for
but it's still it's just a 2D game, you know. It's not like
but I mean,
I see more of a dance
Journey
game.
The Journey was like
already had its time to shine though, and that was 3 years ago, if not more.
Right.
The whole idea was that if you had a super improved version of it that actually worked the way it was advertised, that maybe it would actually catch on this time. But then they let it increase the price $100.
That's the problem.
And they didn't upgrade it enough to make it even get close to the original idea.
That's the problem with it. Is that some people it's working just fine, but some people it's just not at all. Like it's like, oh, some features just don't work with it. It's like it just completely just like it's the dead weight.
Yeah. Honestly, I like my Kinect. I enjoy the fact of having the Kinect, but it serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever for me for game applications. It is a device I speak to because I don't want to pick up my controller. I am very happy spending the money that I did to use it for that, but I can see how plenty of people would be infuriated that they have to pay an extra $100 to have that feature when they don't necessarily want it.
Of course, and now they have an option.
Yeah. I think that's it for us tonight, guys. The thing is, we have the 5 different people asked a question. If you asked a question, you need to follow us because we need to be able to contact you and tell you that you won. So if you asked a question on here, please follow us, and we will pick one of these 5 people at random and send you a T-shirt for Ori.
Should we have them tweet at us?
No, they should follow us, and we'll pick one of these people at random. And if one of those people aren't following us, then we'll move to the next person.
Yep, and we got E3. Nintendo's at 9 o'clock, but then the floor opens at noon. So
tomorrow at 9, we're going to have the Nintendo conference, and then we're going to open the floor, and we're going to go play a bunch of games, and we might be back tomorrow to talk about some stuff. It depends on what our schedules are. But, that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for listening tonight. I hope you enjoyed the first day of E3. There was a lot to talk about, and I hope you enjoyed the 1985 FM podcast. We are live every Monday at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time on Twitch TV. Our audio podcast comes out on Tuesdays at 1985fm.com. I'm Randy LeJudice. Thank you again to Lawrence Lawson, Brendan O'Connell, Jeremy Conrad, and Nathan Mayer, and Vasilis Siskos, who couldn't be here tonight. Thanks again, guys, and join us again next week for another episode of the 1985 FM podcast.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
I'm going to go get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning.
I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, man.
Yeah.
Are we doing Nintendo Live?